right, so what we have here is all of our favorite games put into a big list.
Yeah.
And we're going to try to rank them objectively.
Why is Poké Park 2 up there?
Because it's a freaking amazing game.
I wonder which game.
That's
top 10 that is.
So the first game we have is Fire Emblem Three Houses,
Which was Adam's.
Yes.
Adam, explain where do you think this game should go?
Okay, me? Wait,
Yeah.
why is this in your top 10?
we have why
Yeah,
is
like-
this in your top 10s?
Why is it-
alright, solid, really good, and games should strive to be as good as these.
I think it's a really good game. It's like, I think I put it like right on my top 10. Like it is the number 10, I think. I'm pretty sure. I don't know, Niko's pulling it up.
You keep explaining.
Anyways, really good story, really good characters, and the gameplay is amazing. Music's really good. I do like me some Fire Emblem music. I'll put it on every once in a while. But it's just overall, like, it's just a fun, engaging game, and there's multiple paths. It has a lot of playtime. It's a JRPG, so you're going to be expecting a lot of playtime. And it's just, like, I put a lot of hours into it, and I haven't even finished it. I'm definitely going to, like, finish it one day. I've done multiple playthroughs.
I thought you finished all the paths already.
I haven't. I started both Clyde's,
Caleb, I
Golden
give me my
Deer,
phone.
and Blue Lions, right? The Lion?
You're paying attention.
I don't even know the...
You want Oreo?
Dimitri's, yes. Anyways, I've done the blue guy and the Golden Deer. I don't remember the blue guy's house. It's been a while.
It's Blue Lions.
It's Blue Lions.
Dimitri.
Anyways, once I play again, I'll probably go back to Golden Deer. But I really love it, and it's honestly, it's not. I thought Fire Emblem, like whenever I was getting introduced to it, like Niko was talking about it, I was like, oh, I never liked that. It's too complex, strategy. But and I'm not a big like puzzle guy or really smart, but it's I don't know. It's super. I feel like friendly and really good at introducing you into JRPGs and what they hold onto, or for the rest of many JRPGs. So I think I'm gonna put it in a really good game. I think it's right on the border of like games should strive for these stories and the complexities it has. But I'm gonna put it in a really good game. That's where I'm gonna put it.
Niko, what do you think?
I can confirm it was number 10 on Adam's list.
But
So-
where do you agree with it being in really good games?
As a long-term Fire Emblem fan, I honestly put it in the tier right below in solid games. I like Three Houses. I like the direction that it went. I like all the characters. I think the biggest issue that it had for me was the gameplay loop, because half of the strategy and half of the things necessary that I love in a Fire Emblem game, like the weapon triangles, simple stuff like that, working towards skills that feel meaningful and not just, oh, I'm one-hitting the enemy every time because my character is too strong. I feel like that was the big gameplay loop in Fire Emblem Three Houses. I think Three Houses does a great job introducing difficulties, like maddening and hell and like all of its insane difficulties. I think it does really good there, so I can understand it being in really good games once you get fully invested into it. But by that point, once I've done the story 3 times and like completed the game, which it has 4 endings, technically 5 now with the silver people.
That's insane.
I've done just the 3 with the main leaders, and I'm tired of the game. I can't play it anymore. So for me, I'm putting it in solid games, but I understand really good games and can agree with really good games.
I'm gonna also agree on solid games, having not played the game, but seeing reviews, seeing what it looks like it stays pretty true to Fire Emblem, but it's on the Switch. It's not gonna look amazing, but like it looks like it stays pretty true to it, and most people say that it's like a step in the right direction, like for Fire Emblem. So I'd say it's good, but like I feel like Fire Emblem can only be so good, you know? Like, I don't think it's getting to... Like, if we're gonna say, relatively speaking, to good... Games should strive to be as good as that. Like, if you're gonna strive to be like an RPG, a strategic RPG, I don't know if you're gonna strive to be like Fire Emblem Three Houses, as opposed to a different Fire Emblem game.
It depends on what type. If you're trying to be like a chessboard RPG, then Fire Emblem is your go-to. Fire Emblem is the #1 pick for that. If you want a
But Three Houses, though?
Three Houses in specific, I would say no. There's a different Fire Emblem later on the list that I think it should strive to be, but we'll get to that later. But no, I think Fire Emblem in general, I think Three Houses is a good pick for the Fire Emblem series. I think it's probably like top 3 Fire Emblem games, purely because of the characters and the diversity and the different endings that it has. But, yeah, no, I think solid games.
Yeah.
Ruben, any input?
I've never played that game.
I haven't either.
So
do you think Abram's awake?
Yeah, he is.
Do you think he's like would have been able to be in this call?
Probably.
That's a very big depression. He probably would have wanted to be in this call too.
He probably.
All right.
He was active on.
He
was last active on Instagram 2 hours ago, so I think he's asleep. But that's.
I would also like, if I had money, I would also like the biggest thing I think Fire Emblem did for me or Three Houses is that it makes me want to play more Fire Emblem games, and I think
that is true. It is probably the best introductory Fire Emblem.
And I think if a game does that well, I think it's a pretty dang good game.
So we're gonna put it in solid.
I just said a good point, and you're putting it in solid.
Hey, Adam did just present a really.
So are you saying it's?
I think it's like the bottom of really good.
I think we put it in really good games for now, and if we get too many in that tier, we'll drop it down.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm fine with that.
This one's mine. It was in my top 5. We're on to Bloons now.
Okay.
Now, this is a game all of us have
played this game.
All of us have played this game pretty extensively.
Okay, can I just say...
here's... I'm gonna give my piece as to why this is in my top 5. So first of all, I'm a big fan of tower defense games. I think they're really fun. I think they're really addicting because of just them as a premise. Being very simple but can be added upon.
You would like simple things.
I also think that Bloons is able to... It's such an easy game to get into with a skill ceiling, which NIKO, who is going through all of the advanced maps, will tell you is a pretty high skill ceiling, considering some of those advanced maps on chimps can be stupid.
They're nearly impossible.
Like some of them are stupid.
And you have to like... you have to micro your troops, so like move them between, because there's different targeting options in balloons if you don't know what it is. So you can target the first balloon that the monkey sees, or the last balloon that it sees, or the strongest balloon it sees, and then there's different options for different troops. It just depends. But there's a thing called microing in the game where you toggle between those options so they hit specific balloons. Because you yourself, the player, can't control what balloon it hits, and so you can do this thing called microing and toggle between those options, which allows you to have more control over what the monkeys do. And so some chimps maps you have to do that perfectly. And there was even a chimps map. There was I think it was an expert map that literally was impossible until the devs put in a sword that pops one red balloon.
Ravine.
A ravine.
You have to play. The only way to beat it on chimps is that in like the first 12 rounds, you need 4 dart monkeys, and on one of the rounds, you need to know which round and exactly when. You have to tap a sword 20 times in quick succession for it to pop out, and it'll pop a single balloon, and you need it to pop 1 red balloon.
And that's the only way it was possible in chimps.
And it
was impossible before that.
It's still only possible through that route.
Yep.
So I think that, and also there's the multiplayer allows you to play and create new strategies that you can use on your own. The insane amount of map variety, the maps are so cool, and they give a bunch of different perspectives to play the game from. The different towers, each of them are first of all, the designs for all of them is really good. I think they made
sniper monkey.
Yes, even the sniper monkeys. Those sniper monkeys ended up
Sniper
being good.
monkey's broken.
They're good.
I remember when we first played the game, and Caleb was like, "Don't use them; they're so bad." I was like, "But."
And then we figured out tier 5.
Then I came back later, and I was like, "Caleb, they're broken."
And then
and then
each of the tier 5s are broken for their own different right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they're all.
I wouldn't really say that there's many bad. I wouldn't say there's really any bad towers in Bloons. I just say there's
no, they're all really.
Ice is good.
Bloons is a really it's one of the most balanced.
Yeah, it's
games.
Insanely balanced.
It is weirdly balanced.
It's actually kind of crazy.
We're gonna be making a video on Bloons at some point soon. on the gaming channel, and I'm very happy about that because Bloons is a very good game. But yeah, Ruin, what is that yours?
Yeah.
Okay.
My water.
So if I were to go for Bloons, seeing as it's probably the last of it, like one of the last of its kind, because tower defense games are not very common anymore. They were in like the early 2010s, but like they're kind of dying. But Bloons is still staying pretty strong. It still has a pretty active community, and it also has done the best in its genre. I'd say it has for its genre. I'm not saying of all time. I'm saying for its genre. It goes in games should strive to be like Bloons if it's trying to be a tower defense game.
If it's trying to be a tower defense game.
I just don't think that...
Because you can't say of all time gaming for one specific genre. Because if that was the case, then all games would look the same. You want every game, like, in its genre. If that's a genre-defining game, I'd say all games should strive to be like it. And in this case... all tower defense games should strive to have the balance of Bloons. And the tower design and all the goodness of Bloons.
Why do you have 4 fingers?
Why are you looking at a random picture on the wall?
Anyways,
I got really distracted, sorry.
I like to... Okay, I think that's a good argument. I was gonna say solid games before we started talking low-key, but I just think it's a really good game. Me, personally.
I'd say it's genre defining.
It's genre defining, but I don't think it's that powerful enough to put in the game should strive to be it. Because although it is, like, really good, it's in its gameplay, I just don't think, like, there's like, literally nothing else. It's like a gameplay loop, and, like, that gameplay loop is really, really good, and I think games should strive for that, but... like, overall...
well, yeah,
I don't think...
I mean, what else would you define as games should strive to be like?
I mean, like...
tower defense games, what should they strive to be like? The best tower defense game.
I think my main argument against you is I think it should be in really good games, because I do think it's probably one of the peak tower defense games that you could possibly get. I don't think tower defense games should strive to be like it, because then I feel like all the tower defense games will end up feeling the exact same.
Well,
I feel like they should be
when
unique. I don't think it should take anything from Bloons. I think Bloons should be completely separate.
When I say it should be similar to Bloons is a tower defense game, you're going to want to say something's going to start here, it ends here, don't let it get past there by placing towers. That's what all tower defense games are, by definition. And I say that, like... so if you were to use Plants vs. Zombies as an example. In Plants vs. Zombies, it's complex, right? But it's not as complex as Bloons. And I think in a good tower defense games, it should strive to have the diversity to where any tower can be good. And it should have the diversity of every tower... has been given enough attention. Like, every single tower in Bloons has it's a good strength that makes it useful, has a reason to use it. It's not just, I should use this one tower and I'm chilling for the rest of the game. Just period. I think there's a reason to use every tower in Bloons. And I feel like when I played Plants vs. Zombies, that was just not the case. Like, there were definitely tons of plants that I just shouldn't have used.
I don't know in-depth Plants vs. Zombies, so I can't really talk about that at all.
I'm not saying all of them should play exactly like Bloons. I think they should give their towers the same attention to detail as Bloons, and the balancing should be like Bloons.
Yeah.
I can understand that. I still stand on the fact that I think tower defenses, the reason that they are a dying breed is that they're trying too hard to be the same as each other. I've always felt that way. I felt that way since Bloons fucking TD4 and Bloons TD Battles 1.
Well, isn't that the same kind of thing platform fighters are doing? They're all pretty
yes,
similar.
I think platform fighters are failing as a breed because they are all trying to be Smash Bros.
Yeah.
I think the only one doing it successfully right now is Rivals 2. I think Rivals 1 did it well initially because with Workshop. I think Rivals 1 successfully did work there purely because of Workshop. I don't think it would have survived as long as it had if it didn't have Workshop. Because people like Alfred and whatnot popularized Rivals again. And, like, they literally revived the series, and it let Rivals 2 become a thing. And I think Rivals 2 is, like, purely peaking on, like, gameplay and just music and literally everything. I can't stop talking about that game. I love that game, but I need to stop talking about it. But Bloons. Yeah, tower defense games, I think, are a failing breed for purely the same reason that I think, like, NASB and Multiverses and...
Well, at what
everything.
point does a game start becoming a genre and less of a copy, you know? Like, what point do, like... I feel like a genre is so broad in its definition that it can be anything. Like, fighters, you could be 2D, 3D, arena, you could be whatever you want, or you could be a platform fighter.
Platform fighter, like, they clearly can be separate. Like, we've seen, like, there are other successful plat fighters that are very different to Smash. The main one is probably the most popular one is Brawlhalla. Brawlhalla is very different to Smash Bros. It's very successful, as probably one of the highest grossing esports out there right now. Like,
which is insane.
Yeah, no, like, they just had a tournament where the guy won like $1 million. It's fucking insane.
Oh my lord.
But, like, I don't know how you could expand the genre of tower defense past what Bloons has done.
I don't know if anyone has played it here, but there is a fan-made Pokemon defense tower game that I think is really interesting. It's kind of... The best way I can describe it is kind of similar to, like, the Heroes mechanic in Bloons TD6 with the Pokemon. But, like, also there is microing with, like, you need to select moves. Like, the Pokemon will have 4 moves, and although they'll have an auto attack like they do in Pokemon Go, you have, like, Ember on Charmander that you'll have to press, and, like, you'll have to micro, like, which moves, and, like, the Pokemon flowing in, you'll have to stop, you'll have to use the right type of move to defeat them faster.
Ruben, do you have any
so I think, like, actual other tower defenses, I think they should work on being more unique, and I think Bloons being so popular as it is kind of overshadowing that.
Perhaps. Do you have any thoughts on Bloons?
Yeah, it's beginner friendly. It's simple to use, but I haven't really gotten really far into it. I've just enjoyed beginning it.
This is true. I think that, so I'd say at minimum it needs to be really good. Because it is a very...
I agree with
it's
really
a really
good
game, but I just don't think it's genre. Like,
I'd say as of right now it's genre defining, but, like, maybe it should,
or like
maybe they should.
Games should strive to. I mean, I don't know.
I'd say Bloons.
I feel like a game should. There's games. Literally, our next game. Hold on.
Okay, Ruben, you should have more to say on this game than I do. Breath of the Wild. Whose list was that on?
That was my top 10.
Okay, Ruben, you tell us your reasoning for Breath of the Wild, brother.
I still play that game to this day. I played it yesterday. I played that game yesterday.
Okay, never mind. Now tell us why you put it in your top. Like, what do you like about Breath of the Wild?
I fucking never get tired of playing that game. Since it came out in 2017 and I got it like 2 months later, I've not stopped playing it. As soon as I have my hands on the Switch, I'm throwing Breath of the Wild in there. It's an open world game and it doesn't force you to follow the storyline. So you could literally let Ganon almost kill Princess Zelda forever if you wanted to. And I think that's pretty cool.
That's actually so cool, honestly.
Okay.
You could let him kill the woman forever, and that's pretty cool.
Yes.
And it's going at the very top. It has to go at the very top.
I
would put it at the very top if Tears of the Kingdom didn't exist.
No, hot take, although I like Tears of the Kingdom better than Breath of the Wild, I have Breath of the Wild higher than Tears of the Kingdom in this list format, because it literally, let's think about it, it popularized open world games again. Like, Skyrim did it first, and now Breath of the Wild is the main face. Like, think about it. Genshin Impact was made based off of it.
It's not a positive.
It
is. It's not a positive.
Okay, it's not a good...
Sonic Frontiers, Elden Ring
Sonic Frontiers, Elden Ring came out shortly after that. Clearly with... I'm not saying the game was based off of it, but the angles and how the camera works in that game is definitely based off of Breath of the Wild. They straight up said that in an interview. Just like the life of a world that is like completely open and like creating the genre... Like, Game of the Year. Like, it genuinely was Game of the Year. I don't think there's much
Games just
really to
strive
argue
to
that.
be as good as this.
Like, every game strives to be in Game of the Year.
But here's the thing. Should they strive to be like Breath of the Wild? Or should they strive to do the impact that it did, which I don't think is something you could just do. Because Breath of the Wild, it was the first open-world Zelda game, which is one of the biggest reasons why people liked it. But two, once it came out and people were like, okay, it's an open-world Zelda game that's very complex in its weapon system and its abilities in combat and world, and then everyone tried to do the same thing, and then Tears of the Kingdom comes out, and it's a better game, objectively. Like it's a better game, but it doesn't mean as much because it's been done already. So, do you think that people should strive to make a game that represents what it does, or should they make a game like what it does?
I think both are already happening. I think games are trying to be Breath of the Wild, like Genshin did, although Genshin has moved on from just being Breath of the Wild and is now the most popular mobile game, which is insane to me.
Honkai Star Rail.
Yeah. That too. They got enough money to do a fucking second one, and now they're even making more money.
That's insane, man.
That's because some Genshin fans will just pour. It's Fortnite. It's literally just Fortnite.
Yeah.
Except for, imagine you want a skin, but you have to like roll a dice to get the skin, and if you don't get it, then
it's a gacha. It's a gacha format. Like Fire Emblem itself is doing a gacha format to earn money. Like Fire Emblem Heroes, that is a money bank. But Genshin Impact, I'm forgetting the name, so it's like Rising Phoenix or something like that. I have it on my Switch. It's a really good game, and I like what it's done. But no, it's that open world game that's based off that was like inspired off Breath of the Wild.
Nice.
I can show it to you later. And there's just a lot of open world games that are clearly inspired by Breath of the Wild, and they're all unique and good in their own ways, even if we don't like Genshin Impact in this household. So for the impact that it's done in the game itself being amazing, I think it has to be in the top tier.
I am not disagreeing with this.
Adam?
I'm not disagreeing, but yeah. I just think, in my eyes, Tears of the Kingdom came out, and it just it was just objectively better,
but it doesn't. It actually represents something worse, because I feel like we'll get into that, but I feel like Tears of the Kingdom represents like Nintendo attempting to ride a high that they couldn't forever, even though they made an objectively better game. A lot of reviews.
I mean, this is my thing. If they were trying to... Okay, here's my point, though. If they were trying to ride this high, right, they would have just came out with the game in the next 2 years. They wouldn't have tried to polish it again and again and delayed the game and just kept fans waiting.
Well, I'm actually talking about points reviewers have brought up of how they think it's just the same again, even though it's an objectively better game.
Yeah. But anyways, Call of Duty Warzone. Hey, Ruben.
Yeah.
You put Warzone. Give us your reason.
It's very toxic, and I like that environment.
All right.
Be more specific. What else? What else?
There's a lot of racially
Give us
motivated
content, Ruben.
activities
You're at
going
gunpoint.
on there. I like the fact that you can mechanically outplay someone, and they'll be like, "You're a little bitch." I think that's pretty fucking awesome.
I also heard you mention you like the racism aspect.
I do. I think we should just spread racism equally. You're gonna have to.
Can I talk about Warzone a little bit?
Yeah, go for
I
it.
think it's a really good battle royale game. It has good weapon.
Plenty of racism, yes.
Okay, good weapon customization. I think it's fun, low key. And I've always thought COD is definitely one of the better, they're Call of Duty. They're gonna have good gunplay. It's really good gunplay. That's really all much I can say about it. I haven't played it a super ton, but we also have another VR game on here that I think just is better personally.
So, where's it going?
But okay,
I put it in solid or eh.
From what I know, it's a solid game.
I'd put it in solid game.
That's all I can really say. About it. It's really hard to judge the BR games because I think there's a lot of aspects. I wouldn't put like any solely BR games into like the game should strive to be like this, in my humble opinion.
Any what?
Never mind. I'll talk about it later.
BR games?
Battle Royale.
Battle Royale. Or just like online games, but I'll talk about that later. But, yeah, just a solid game. It's a solid game.
NIKO?
I don't have much to say about Warzone. I've only played Warzone myself briefly, and it's just not for me. I'm not really into shooters myself. But my brother and uncle constantly play that game together and constantly want me to play it with them. And that is very interesting to me, that it's like hooking an older generation rather than a younger generation. Which, it's COD, so that doesn't fully surprise me.
Yeah, loads of racist adults play COD.
You're not wrong. But, yeah, no. Genuine question, is there any other first-person shooter battle royale?
Apex Legends.
Apex.
I think Apex Legends. If Apex Legends was on here,
that would go in A games.
I would put it above Warzone.
That would go in A games?
No,
interesting.
Honestly, real.
Okay,
raw.
Okay, my thing with... it's not on here, but let me just talk about Apex Legends real quick, because I do love that game. I just haven't... I could play on my PS4, low-key, but I don't have anybody to play with it. Anyways, I just think it's a really solid game, because, one, it diverges from most BRs, and it's a team-based one. And character base, which I think, and it's been really
like a rip-off
successful.
of Siege.
No, because it's a battle royale. It's completely different.
I don't think,
the
bro.
movement.
No.
Siege. I know Siege. Okay, first of all, Siege is like a lot slower.
No, it's
in
like
your
the
gunplay.
It's the characters, dude.
Damn, we're 3 games in, it's 27 minutes, we're
Okay,
fucked.
we're just gonna put in Saga games. We'll talk about Apex. Apex Legends. I love it.
Celeste.
Yes, my game.
I love Celeste. Okay. Me personally, I don't care if you guys agree. You guys can put it wherever you want. But personally, me, I think games should strive to be like Celeste, because not only does Celeste have one killer story. I think the story is really important, and it talks about like dealing with like anxiety and depression and all that stuff, and your worries and overcoming the challenge. I mean, the whole point of the mountain it's a whole metaphor for overcoming challenges, and that's what your character does. What's her name? Madeline?
You don't even remember the name of a
Chat.
character from your
It's
favorite
Madeline.
game?
It's Madeline.
Bro.
Buddy, it's been a while since I played this game,
And
but
then
I
there's
can...
battling.
Bro, no! Anyways, I love the gameplay. I love the story that it does, because it's it's just short and sweet. It's not super long, but it's super challenging too, and you can build off of the gameplay. Like, there's all sorts of speedrun strats. There's literally, if I've done, every single level in the moon level, it takes, 3 hours, and I love that, but it starts teaching you, literal speedrun strats that the community, the creators took from the community and put it in the game, and I think that's really cool, that, creators are admiring what their community is doing and put it in the game, which is just awesome. So the gameplay is really good. I love the story and what it does, and the whole thing with the mountain and just overcoming your challenges and dealing with anxiety and stuff. And I know that hits home with a lot of people. And so, me personally, I think games should strive to be like that and not only make amazing gameplay, but a good story to go along with it. And I do think there's better games that do that, so low-key, it probably should go in, the top of really good games for me, but personally, in my eyes, I think a lot of games should strive to be like it, because it just does a lot of aspects right, and there's little flaws I see in the game. So that's me personally, and they should make Celeste too.
I agree that it should go in games should strive, because in any platformer ever, I am a movement fiend, and if you want to talk about good movement in a 2D platformer, Celeste is insane, because the movement options in the game, while seemingly simple, are really good in practice, and the kind of different things that people do with speedrunning, and the kind of things that the game just... I think the game... You could just disregard the story and still have an insanely good game on your hands because of how good the movement and platforming is.
Yes.
So I agree it should go in Game Should Strive.
Surprisingly, I agree it should go with Game Should Strive with this game, but not for exactly the same reasoning as you two.
Mm-hmm.
I think the optional things is what makes it peak. There's optional levels that are an increase in difficulty to add depth into the game. There's just optional, like, story things that you can do. Like, you never have to go to the moon. Like, it's not a thing that you can just do. It is a thing that you have to search for. It's a thing you have to be invested in to get into. I like that they've added speedrun options into the game. Like, you can have a built-in timer mode. There are modes that you can do to literally practice specific portions of each map, so you don't have to just keep redoing the level over and over if you just want to, like, practice one specific area you're struggling at. I love that it's just unique. Like, it's a unique art style, it's a unique soundtrack, it's a unique story, it's a unique movement-based game. Like, it might just be jumps and dashes, but, like, the way that they do it with the items that you, like, have to pick up to do it, and how you unlock, like, double dashing and whatnot with battle and whatnot, it's just all very impressive, it's all very unique. And it's also an indie game developer that they worked on fucking Minecraft, dude. It's fucking crazy.
Oh yeah, well no, the person who developed the soundtrack.
Yeah, they
made Pickstep, and then they made also a lot of the newer soundtracks.
But it's an indie game that is for cheap for a game of that size. Is, like, again, I'll use this fact later. That, to me, indie games that do that are just crazy to me. Like, how are these AAA games being $60 and being done in 5 hours when this game I can play for 50 hours and not be done with it yet and still love it? It just doesn't make sense. And just indie games in itself are really impressive. And all, like, the secret messages of Celeste are all done really well, like, between mental health, with bipolarism, with Madeline, with split personality as well. With gender fluidness. It's all the secret messages are done really well in Celeste. With not just forcing it in your face.
Yes.
Yeah. Alright, Chrono Trigger.
We all put it up there. Okay, sweet.
The RPGs of RPGs. If you like multiple endings of a game, this game is the origin of that concept. This game created the gameplay loop of you can play it 10 times and you can get a different ending each time, or you can take a different route to each ending. There are your actions, like whatever like decisions you make will influence the world around you. Like in this one like world that you access, there is a vampire dude that's like not insanely evil, but he is clearly evil. He is clearly the antagonist. And you get to a certain point of the game where you either kill him, or there is a secret option where if you do it right, you can have him join your team. And to me, just like that concept in itself, building that concept means it's minimum really good games, if not games should strive to be like this. Because it has beautiful art style for how old it was. Like, that's a remake for the DS, it was on an even older system beforehand. Beautiful game, beautiful RPG. It's just like, you like Final Fantasy, you like Xenoblade, you like Fire Emblem, you like any RPG, you can thank this game for a lot of the story beats that they have. So, minimum really good games, if not revolutionary game at the top.
Adam, what do you think?
I've never played
I've
just heard MatPat talk about it and really love it. And I know it doesn't have like time travel or something like that.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It's very time based. If you can't tell by
I know it inspired a lot of things.
It inspired 90% of RPGs today.
So I kind of feel like games already have been striving to be like it.
Yeah.
I'm sure
gonna put it at the bottom.
If anyone's gonna disagree with NIKO, it'd be.
Hey, comments, fight me. I dare you.
All right. Call of Duty.
I
World
can
War
actually
II.
say stuff
Who
about
put
this game.
One? Was that you,
That
Ruben?
was Ruben.
Yes.
All right, Ruben. Tell us about Call of Duty World War II.
Provide your argument because I want to hear.
Dude, it was the only thing that brought me enjoyment when I was no longer connected to internet. I spent like a year with no internet, and that story I played it over and over again without the internet. And then when I got online, it got a lot better. There's a lot of racism, but it kept me interested whenever I didn't have any internet. So I really enjoyed the storyline of that game. I think it's very...
Do you still play that game?
I almost got a little emotional when I was watching it.
Do you still play that game?
No, I don't play it anymore because I don't have it.
You should get it. All right, Adam, have you ever played it?
Okay, I have not played. I don't really talk about Call of Duty that much. I can't talk about Call of Duty that much, but I have played a lot of the Call of Duty games, and I've seen a lot of. There's this one dude. He's called the Act Man on YouTube, and he talks about the Call of Duty games. And I've seen gameplay of World War II, and I've also played other games, and I've also played Call of Duty World at War, and from what I've seen and heard of Call of Duty World War II, the game's legit, like, actual kind of dookie. Like, and it's a lot of the maps are and this is just a problem with Call of Duty in general. A lot of them are 3-lane maps, so that's a big problem. The story, from what I heard, is also not very good. I have played a little bit of it, and it's alright, but compared to, like, a lot of other Call of Duty games, the story beats just go so much better in other games versus this one. And then another big thing, they had a ton of microtransactions in this game. Like a free ton of microtransactions, like loot boxes, like the bad, not like, oh, you're basically gambling for what you want. And it's a bunch of like reskins and stuff. Just you're wasting your money on like why did they have that in the game?
Unite, let's go.
And then the zombies mode. It was one of the worst in the series, and just it's comparatively to a lot of other shooters, the World War II, the remake, is not that good compared to a lot of other Call of Duty games, and it's just kind of a very mid, not very good game. And I'm surprised there's not other Call of Duties over this one, in my opinion.
Ruben, do you want to defend your game?
All of this without playing it?
Have you played it?
I have not played it, but...
Interesting.
As someone that has played it, it's my personal favorite Call of Duty. I actually
What?
love World War II. I really love Call of Duty World War II.
Awesome.
I played 3 of the Modern Warfares, 1, 2, and 3. I've played Black Ops 2. I've played Black Ops 1.
It's seriously your favorite?
I genuinely love Call of Duty World War II. Playing that with my brother, like when I was younger.
Playing that with my brother when I was younger.
Peak experience. It's a peak experience because it just genuinely feels like you're in combat with someone. It's the most first-person shooter I've ever felt. So for me, it's in really good games. I really loved World War II.
Seriously?
Really good games.
That's crazy.
I have no opinion. I've never even seen gameplay of this game.
I've seen gameplay and
Adam is outnumbered.
But I've just played like so many other Call of Duty games, and they just like...
I've played a lot of Call of Duty games too, just because my brother is a Call of Duty head.
Going under blue.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's fine.
I've just like... Wow, okay.
You were not expecting
I wasn't
that one,
expecting that one at all. I was thinking Ed Games or why is this in your top 10?
There you go, Rowan.
No, I love...
Call of Duty World War II is
Maybe I have to play it because like
I'm
the dude I watched literally tore into this game and why it's like one of the worst Call of Duties.
Hey, gotta form your own opinions.
Exactly.
I know, but like
you know what? Yeah, Adam, you really do.
At the same time, I kind of do agree
That's
with
why I'm
it
following
because
the group on this one.
I think we should make it a new rule that you have to have played the game at least a little bit.
No, you can still talk about it even if you
because
haven't.
I'm comparing it also to my other Call of Duty experiences and what I've played versus like what I've seen of World War II. And World at War just does it has like a insane story mode. I love that story of World at War.
But this isn't World at War.
It's literally World War II.
That's not World at War.
World at War is World War II. It's just the first. They called it World. It's not the.
So you like World War II then?
Oh my Caleb,
Okay, it's fine.
Anyways, that's my own personal opinion. I
Alright.
maybe just need to play it.
Maybe you just need to play it.
I need to play it.
Cuphead, it's in my top 10. It's number 10. I think Cuphead is an amazing game. I've played it multiple times. I played through the campaign multiple times and the DLC. DLC was okay.
I've watched you and
But
Abram sit there and rage at that game.
Dude, I
many
think
times.
the amount of bonding that I've had with my friends over this game. I beat this game with Abram. I remember being on the second world playing the one cake boss with Abram for over a night straight. Me and NIKO played this game together when I was in South Carolina one time.
The fact. Why does this game get 10 times harder in co-op? I actually.
No, I
it's
agree.
So weird.
But now, while that might be some people might see that as a bad thing. I think that's actually a great thing.
Well, it does
because
spike their health.
it makes it a good. It makes it more fun, I think, and a lot more like funny and rage-inducing. And obviously, people have talked to death about the soundtrack and the visuals being just absolute peak.
I mean, they literally wrote every.
Yeah, like frame by frame animation. The gameplay is so fun. It's nothing revolutionary by movement standard, but I think like the bosses, all of them are so well designed, so well made. Even though some of them just make me want to kill myself, I think that playing co-op, while it is harder, it's a lot more fun. I don't know why the devil is so freaking easy. But no, I love Cuphead. It's a very good game, and I think that it should be at the top, maybe underneath Balloons, a really good game.
You think it's just a really good game?
Good game.
I was
don't
about to say strive, because I think games should strive to be this unique, or this...
To be a boss...
No, not just like be, a boss rush game. Like, go big with your ideas, you know? Like, if you have, like, nobody else has done this in, like, this type of style or this type of game in forever.
Completely hand-drawn.
It's completely hand-drawn. Like, if you have something that wild, just go for it. Do it. You put your heart into it. Look at what happened with Cuphead. They had a whole freaking TV show just from this one game. And so for that, just from this one game, like...
If that is the aspect you're looking at it from, then yes. I thought you were talking about, like, gameplay-wise.
Well,
like, gameplay-wise, I agree, it is weird.
It's still really good.
But, like,
what
it's done and how it looks and just, again, it's an indie team that's selling it for like $15 for that big of game, for a game that you can constantly replay and play with friends.
I remember getting this in, like, 2019, and I played the game to death, and it just, like, it always stuck with me as a really good game.
Its only flop was not adding that third player.
I know, dude! I wanted the third player!
But, okay, 3 players is so weird. Then you have to make it 4, and at that point, like...
No, you don't.
No, you don't.
In my eyes, you do.
You could have the big 3.
3 is weird.
I would love to have the 3 of us
Hey, there's
play.
a reason it's big 3 and not a quartet.
Alright,
they have barbershop quartets in the game!
I'm so glad.
I think it goes... Like, there's no reason not to!
I have Cuphead at the bottom, though.
I'll put it right above Chrono Trigger.
No, Chrono Trigger's inspired way too many.
It's definitely, I kind of...
Like, you're even putting it lower, so I don't think you can argue.
That's fair, that's fair. Alright, whatever the fuck this game is.
Dead Cells!
I actually really want to play this
NIKO,
game.
I'm assuming this is yours?
Yeah.
I just heard good things about it.
Similar to Celeste and Cuphead, it is an indie game made by a small team that's doing a lot. This game's beautiful. It's stunningly animated, stunningly art, stunning music, stunning gameplay. It is a roguelike. It is a game you can literally play forever, and you'll still get a different ending. It is, you can, like, I have easily poured in 40 hours just in, like, 4 days of this game, and I'm constantly getting different endings and different getting new things just to make my runs different, because you slowly unlock other things that you can, like, do. There's so many different weapons and just different ways you can play the game. Like, Hollow Knight's nail is in the game. Like, it had an insane crossover, and I love just getting the Hollow Knight weapon and experiencing Hollow Knight through Dead Cells. And it's so unique. It's so beautiful. There's just so many things you can do, and it's just a cheap indie game that you can play forever.
How much is it?
It's like, I got it for $10.
$10? Was it discounted?
I don't remember. It might have been discounted. I can check the sale price right now. Give me a second. It is. It says right now the current price is $12.49.
Good.
So
where should we put it?
Although I love it and I do think it is a peak roguelike, I don't think it is as defining as the other two indie games in the top tier. Like, obviously, like, no one else in this room has played it, and no one else has even heard of it, so it's clearly not as defining. It's still really good that it can get crossovers and shit like that, and it's such a good game in itself. I have it at the top of really good games.
Okay. Okay. Elden Ring. Elden Ring.
Was this in mine or was this in Niko's?
This was mine.
This was yours?
I'm sure both of you can say. Ruben, have you played Elden Ring?
Yeah.
Do you want to comment on Elden Ring? Do you have anything to say about Elden Ring?
Start with Ruben.
Is there a point in you being here? You have a timer. You're on a timer.
No, I don't really have an opinion on the game. I mean, I like to play.
Bro worked a light 11 hours. He doesn't have the right to be tired right
My
now.
bad, guys.
Alright, you go first.
Yeah, no, Game of the Year topic again. This thing won the whole thing. So if Breath of the Wild was up there for winning the adventure side of Game of the Year, where the fuck is this guy at? If it's not the peak of peak games, I'd say Breath of the Wild. It might have been Tears of the Kingdom that won the adventure side of Breath of the Wild, the whole thing. I don't really remember.
I think Breath of the Wild won.
Wait, what?
I don't remember.
Why would
It
Breath of the
won
Wild and
Adventure,
Tears of the
and it
Kingdom
probably-
be in the same contest?
No, they're in different years of Game of the Year.
Yeah.
I don't remember which one. I don't remember if they were both Adventure or Breath of the Wild won the whole thing. Either way,
I know
Elden Ring.
Breath of the Wild won Game of the Year in its year.
Okay, so it did win the full year.
It
Okay,
did win the year.
Which was
and
insane
that's-
because 2017 was a crazy year.
it was a really
It
good
was.
year. But Elden Ring is the same, and it won much more dominantly, even over games like God of War Ragnarok.
Yes.
Which in itself is an insane feat. Yeah, no, beautiful game, open world just like Breath of the Wild. It's a Souls-like. It just got DLC that is getting an insane amount of plays right now. Like Kai Cenat just launched a stream. It was like 300,000 views.
That's so funny.
And he literally died on the same boss for 24 hours straight.
I feel like that's partially because it's Kai Cenat.
That is true. It is partially because it's Kai Cenat, but it's also partially because he had 480 deaths on one guy. And I don't even know if he's beaten it yet. And
Probably not.
yeah, probably not. He's pretty dog shit. But no, beautiful game. There's it even has insane replayability because there's the different classes you can pick at the start of the game. And the
I don't know
different weapons you
anyone.
can pick.
Well, actually, I do know plenty of people who would want to replay this game, but God.
I know people who are replaying it from 0 to now just because they want to remind themselves of the story for the DLC.
Mm-hmm.
So they're doing 100% from
Is the
scratch.
DLC still not out?
No, it's
No,
out.
it's out. Just they want to.
Yeah, they're
play it again.
they're experiencing the game again from scratch to 100% completion and then doing the DLC.
That's insane.
Okay. So here's my point. I'm thinking of. You know how Niko's brought up the point of indie games do this much with only this amount, I don't know, a small budget. Well, Elden Ring took their huge budget, right? And they actually did crap with it, versus a lot of other AAA games that don't do crap with that budget. And
Bless
so
them.
that's just something that, you paid the $60, or how much it was. I paid $30, right? It was a used copy. But you're getting your money worth, you know? And it's it's something you can tell that there was a lot of care, a lot of love put into the game.
Is that Elden Ring right now on the ad?
I don't think so.
I can't tell.
I have seen Elden Ring up there.
That's
There
not-
was
that's
some
not-
promoting the DLC.
Okay,
yeah.
no, that's enough.
They were promoting
Oh,
the
I
game.
did know that. Okay.
Anyways, really good game. I've only played through the first castle area, so I beat in the first two. I beat it. They're good ads. Anyways,
Yeah, no, I saw that was on your door earlier. That was beat.
I beat in the first two main story bosses that you fight in the castle. So the dude with the dragon arm and the dude with the staff, love them. They're great. That's all I played, and I've done that like twice now. Because my cousin owns the game in California, and every time I went over there, I just play Elden Ring, and I played 2 different classes each time, and it felt like I had a blast each time. So I mean, like, if that just goes to show that like I played like the first bit of the game, and it's extremely replayable and super fun. I think that just goes to show, and the impact it has. I mean, it won freaking Game of the Year, and it's just a game that a bunch of, I think especially AAA games should aspire to be, and they should be like, oh, look at what they did with their really good budget. Oh, we should probably do that too. So,
online right now, people are signing a form, and it's already gotten like 300,000 signs to change the rules of Game of the Year to let a DLC run for a Game of the Year. It is that game defining. So I think it's less of a question, is it in the top tier? It's a question of, is it above or below Breath of the Wild? I think it's minimum top 2 right now.
Yeah.
If not, like, I personally,
I'd say
I have it above Breath of the Wild.
I'd put it below because I feel like it's somewhat inspired.
You could argue that. But I think it's gone beyond.
It may have gone beyond, but at the same time, I feel like Breath of the Wild walked so that way Elden Ring could run.
And since it's running, I think it's gone ahead.
That's not a fair comparison. I don't think you can say that.
The thing about Elden Ring, and this isn't even a bad thing, it's just like it's gonna drive some people away. You fake gamers! Not playing. I love you all gamers. You all mean a lot. Just some of you are not that good and find this game very hard. And
it's a Souls-like.
It is what you signed up for. So that's the only, like, not even the negative, just like some people are gonna. I mean, it's like with Caleb with Hollow Knight.
I feel like just the openness of Breath of the Wild and the insane, like, of what it is for Zelda and Nintendo and its entire company and the gaming industry at large. I feel like you have to say Breath of the Wild did more. But, like...
But I don't, because Elden Ring is today, it's easily going to inspire more than Breath of the Wild. We haven't lived in the future yet, because I already know there's at least 3 big games in development inspired by Elden Ring's work.
So are you putting it above Breath of the Wild? Okay.
I think it kind of has to go above Breath.
Alright, so it's going underneath Blue...
Okay. I think we killed
Bro is struggling. Just move Breath of the Wild, Doug. It's so... I don't know why it's moving.
It wasn't moving, okay.
Alright,
Alright, now we're on to the peak game, Ruben. It's time for you to explain your damn self. Frogger in your top 10. Why?
Oh, I just put it there because it was what I grew up playing.
Bro gives us 0 explanation for shit. Tell us why you think it's a peak game.
Because it was like the only game I had for like a while, and so I just kind of got good at it and used to playing it. It's what I played as a child, so kind of.
This is the game that you play at the arcade for 2 seconds and then you're bored. And then you move on to something else. But, like... Frogger...
God of War!
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I put that on there too.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, you put that on there?
Oh, okay.
I thought it was NIKO.
Which God of War is this?
This is God of War 4.
It's actually right there, Caleb.
Yeah.
I have it.
Is it? It's 4?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, why'd you put it?
I think that's a really good game because there's so much shit that you can do in the storyline, like with your weapon customization and your different playstyles, and then the storyline is just fucking awesome. And also the soundtrack is really good too, because when you're...
I have heard the soundtrack.
It's fucking awesome.
And it's like, it makes me want to go sing for God of War, low-key, because that stuff goes hard.
It does.
I don't know if you heard it, but it makes me...
But is it in the top tier?
I'd say it's a solid
I haven't
game.
played it, although
I feel like other
I
games...
played 4 hours, and I thought it's really good right now.
I've also played
But-
God of War. I'd say I don't think games should strive to be like it. I feel like it should be its own thing.
Yeah, I think it should be its own thing. I think it's a really good game.
Yeah.
It does what it does really well, but
it's not genre defining.
Yeah.
So,
What kind of genre is it, anyways?
It's a
like
it's a
adventure?
role playing game, technically. Like
Adventure?
Yeah, it's an RPG, but not an RPG. You know?
Yeah, it's an adventure-based RPG.
GTA 5. I was guessing that's for you, Ruben.
Yeah.
Why'd you put
what
that?
else is there to say? You can pretty much commit all the crimes you want.
You can't start your own cocaine bar.
It is fucking GTA 5.
I'm gonna say GTA 5 is peak. Like GTA 5 is.
Games should strive to be like that.
It's like Minecraft. It just has to be.
I feel like the top 3 games that define gaming is like Minecraft,
GTA 5, Tetris.
I mean, think about
Yeah.
guys. When did
So,
GTA 5 come out? It came out forever ago, like over 10 years ago. And
Like,
people
yeah,
are still
no.
playing it.
Like Minecraft, GTA 5, Tetris. If you have a gaming list on an objectivity list, they have to be at the top.
like
They've
they
had
are
too
the
much
top
influence.
3 of gaming.
I mean,
Alright.
who doesn't want to steal cash and like then go and kill a stripper with your homie?
But like, I feel like you can do literally anything in that game. You know?
You can. You can.
And then
do
they
anything.
mod. Then they started
Okay.
modding it.
The one,
Brother.
the coolest thing about GTA series, the cheat codes. I love cheat codes in games.
That and mods. You see the mods for that game?
Okay, look, not everyone has access to mods.
Still.
But them putting just cheat codes in your base game, I think is just awesome.
It's-
I love
I
it.
mean, mods are
It's so
mods are
funny.
part of the reason why Minecraft got as big as it is.
No.
No.
That's also, dude. So many YouTubers got their peak from mod showcases.
That is true.
That is true,
Like
but that's a
popular
different-
MMOs, Dan TDM, all of them.
It's like we're doing the mod command.
But
block.
like even vanilla Minecraft.
But like, yeah, think about it
insane.
now. Like, I don't, especially when Minecraft.
we're not on Minecraft. GTA 5 peak is
Yeah.
the top.
Okay.
What is this? Hades?
Hades 1 and 2. I put them together, them in succession with each other.
Why couldn't you have done that for Splatoon? Okay.
Well, I didn't really want to make a custom image. I'm gonna be so real.
Bro's lazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Where's Splatoon?
So,
Okay.
remember everything I said about Dead Cells? Amplify it by 1,000,000. This game, beautiful. Instead of 2D, it's 3D. This is my current game that I'm playing to completion. I love it. Like, for like example of how much I love it, I put down Elden Ring so I could play this game. Like, I constantly play this
What
game.
genre is it again?
It's a
roguelike.
It's a roguelike, so you can play it forever. It's adventure.
It's 3D, right?
Yeah, it's 3D. Beautiful art style. This game alone probably has the most screenshots I've taken in a game.
Is it? It's not a platform.
No.
It's like a beat 'em up, right? In a way.
Kinda. Like, you travel room by room, and to pass through that room, you have to kill every enemy in that room.
Okay, you guys keep talking.
And there are occasional bosses, and the bosses are probably the most well-designed I've ever seen. I've talked about Kronos before. Kronos might be my favorite boss ever, like, period. Kronos is an amazing boss. Hades in Hades 1 was an amazing boss. And, like, Hades 2 isn't even complete, and it's, like, in contention for, like, a top 5 game on my list. And, I don't know, it's a peak game. It's everything I loved about Dead Cells and more. So for me, it's, like, it's with Cuphead and Celeste up there.
I want to play this game just because
I do too, because he hypes it up a lot.
Well, not only NIKO, I've heard so many it's countless good things. I haven't heard really bad things about Hades. So, and it's on the PS4, so I might comp it on there.
Is it on Switch?
It's on Switch.
Hades 1 is on Switch, yeah. Oh, another thing I will say is that personality-wise for, like, the Greek mythology characters and whatnot is, like, actually historically accurate. And I find that amazing. Because there's so many things where, oh, Hades is bad because yada yada yada, god of darkness, god of the underworld, yada yada. But he's just not. He's just doing his job. The real bad guy is Kronos, which the main antagonist is Kronos, the god that eats gods, the god of time, the father of the god of gods. It's just beautiful game. It goes up there.
I'll have to play it now.
So I'm gonna put it right above Chrono
Wait,
Trigger.
NIKO, can I look how much Hades is on the PS4?
Go for it.
I put it right above
That's
Chrono
legit.
Trigger.
I'm fine with that.
Alright. Go ahead and get the spill out the way, you guys. I'm just gonna. We can just clock out mentally for a little bit.
Okay. I'm just gonna start briefly because I know NIKO has a lot more. Because this is like Nico's favorite. This used to be like top 3 for me. It's just dropped. It doesn't do anything bad to drop. Personally, I think it's still like. I think it should go in genre defining. I mean, so many people love that freaking game, and I think Metroidvania should. It should be Hollow Knight.
I feel like already, just by default, the way that it is here for us, I'm gonna say it's gonna go above Celeste.
Yeah.
But I'm not putting it above. I'm not putting it above Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it goes in between Breath of the Wild and Celeste right now.
I thought NIKO was gonna put it higher, but that's
for myself. It goes at the very top, but this is objectivity.
Yes,
it is an indie game. It is cheap. It is beautiful. It is meta-defining. It is Metroidvania-defining. It's beautiful soundtrack, beautiful art, beautiful characters, beautiful bosses, beautiful gameplay, beautiful platforming. Everything about it is beautiful. Everything about it is done for perfection. If you want to talk about influence, just look at like a lot of the Metroidvanias today. Like Blue Fire was inspired by it. The Mio, which was in a recent Nintendo Direct, was inspired about it. There's just a lot of Metroidvanias that are inspired about it.
Really good.
It does look good. A lot of them do look good, and they are, like, even though they are inspired, they're still unique. And that's what I love about it. It inspires games that are unique in its own way, while still looking and sometimes feeling like Hollow Knight. And I love Hollow Knight, so that is not a complaint at all. If we want to talk about, like, other influence, if you go to any, like, game showcase or, like, a Nintendo Direct, Xbox Live showcase, just look at the Twitch chat. Silksong 1, Silksong 1, Silksong 1, Silksong 1. You go to Twitter, million likes. Silksong with a fucking clown emoji. It's like, it has a super big impact. People want Silksong. Hollow Knight is beautiful. It's meta-defining. It's up there.
I agree. Yeah. I mean,
I honestly expected that to be longer, but no one's gonna argue that. So
we're at an hour in, so I kept it short.
Yeah. No.
All right, Adam, Last of Us.
Okay.
Give us a spill.
No one else
on Last of Us. I don't think anyone's really gonna.
I think this game.
It was on
Ruben's honorable.
It was on.
I'm gonna use the restroom real quick.
That's awesome. I think.
Where is this on your top 10?
Okay. It's like 2.
This is second?
Yes. This game. Okay.
Really? This is number 1, right? This is the first one.
Yes, this is the first one. Part 2 doesn't. It's good. I still think it's a really solid game, but I don't think it's like what this first game does. It's just like it's nearly perfect, and I think what a lot of games saw this and its story, and this game, I remember people saw it and like we're talking about it, and we're like, wow, games can really be art and can really be a story and can really do more than just, hey, let's press some buttons on this and just play a video game, you know? And there was games before that, like Ocarina of Time, that took that, but this game really pushed it forward and was... I mean, you've said it, you've seen it, and you've said it like it's pretty much a movie. And yes, that is true, but it also has, like, you know, it's a video game, so it has those gameplay elements to factor in and drive this story forward. And it's nearly perfect in my eyes. And solely, yes, because of the story and the characters and Joel and Ellie and the way they interact, and you start to just deeply care for that. And I think this game is solely, like, games should strive to be like this, and its characters and its story, and that, like, it literally pushed, like, media was like, yes, games can actually be like, video games can be an art, video games can be a story, they have something to tell. And so for that sole reason, I think it should go in the top tier. Where, that's kind of hard because I feel like, I don't know where you guys would put it. Me personally, I think I put it below Breath of the Wild, in between Hollow Knight. Me personally.
Above Hollow Knight?
Yeah.
Really?
Because it pushed, like, the biggest thing it did was, like, games can tell a story, games can be art. Look at how, like, this was on the PS3, and it was, like, near the end of its cycle, yes, but it looked insanely good for its time.
I feel like with how similar it is to a movie, I feel like it's just, like, less of a game than it is a movie.
That can be argued, but even then, the survival aspects it has are also really good, and just
like I feel like a lot of games
like the
have tried to be like it and they failed because they want to be because it's such like it's zombie game with.
Also, yes, that's another thing. The zombie virus isn't a virus; it's a fungus. It's based off of a real fungus called cordyceps, and I love how they divert from that typical zombie path at a time where zombies were kind of dying, and they take a different idea and do something completely different with it. And that's also why I think it's also just at the top of its...
I think in of its own right, it's a good game in terms of its own story. I think it's the same reason why God of War... Like, God of War is an insane game. It did its own thing, though, and I think it should stay its own thing. I don't think Last of Us... Like, Last of Us is not genre-defining. Like, Last of Us is not... I feel like Last of Us and God of War should be placed similarly.
It isn't its own genre, but the thing that I think it transcends all genres because of its story and what it was telling at the time where it came out. Like, yes, a bunch of different story. Like, every single game is telling their story now, but I don't think games would start to strive without The Last of Us, because it really pushed that. And yes, you had games like Ocarina of Time, but that was like the only thing at its time. And then Last of Us and like just pushed that and just drove with that.
Alright, NIKO.
I'm gonna agree and disagree with both of you. I personally have it right behind Chrono Trigger. I myself don't like The Last of Us. It's not a game for me. It is too much cutscene for myself.
Same.
But I am a slight hypocrite of that because another game that was in my honorable mentions that didn't make this list is a game called Detroit Become Human. And I think that is a game that is very clearly inspired by The Last of Us, story-wise, and just how much of it trying to focus on being an art rather than just a game. And while I think that's really unique, and while it's good on its own, I think it is slightly pushing a flaw where it is more movie rather than game, even if the game is good.
So because of that, should we tell it that the other games should strive to be less of a game? That's what I'm saying. That's why I say that God of War should be where it is, because I feel like it did good for what it is and what it's doing, but I don't think other games should try and replicate it.
I think to an extent of games need a story that is like an art form. Like, I would say the top four we had, not the top four because I don't think GTA is really an art. I think GTA is its own thing. GTA is just... GTA is built different. GTA is a full game. Elden Ring, Breath of the Wild, Hollow Knight, even Celeste and Hades, even Chrono Trigger. Those 6 stories that we have up there, they all have a story that I define as an art form rather than just a story. And I think it pushing that narrative in itself is a thing games should strive for. So that is why I have it on the low end, because it does have some slight negatives, being too much movie rather than game.
I'd say Elden Ring and Breath of the Wild truly, capture the half and half perfectly.
Yes,
of being
I
game
agree.
and movie.
That is why I think it's definitely lower. But I think I can see it being at the top of that bottom tier.
I feel like if you fail in one
Or
of the
the
two
bottom of
one
that
of the
top
two
tier.
boxes, then you can't be put at the top.
But also, another thing, I don't know if this is really going to change anything. I just want to throw it out there. But, I feel like out of all...
Oh, that was Elden Ring.
Out of the games up there, the characters I care for and, just want to, succeed, in movies, whenever I'm watching characters, I'm cheering for them. The characters I'm cheering for most is in The Last of Us. And that's, the thing I think it does better than all those games up there. I think it does it better than all the games on the list, Loki. It makes you care so deeply for those characters and its bonds. And the way they just introduce characters, and they're not afraid to get rid of those characters either. And so I think it's just real, and I love that. So that I just want to throw that point in there.
The only game I'll argue that with is Hades. I think Hades does that as well excellently. But
everything else.
I understand both sides. I understand Adam's POV of wanting it to be in the top tier for the art form story. I agree with it being up there, but we did put God of War in really good games, and I do slightly agree more of Caleb's argument in that decision. So I would say right next to God of War is a fair placement.
That sounds good.
Dang.
Sorry, Adam, you lost the argument.
So sad. If below balloons is
So
so
Little
sad.
Nightmares
That's
2.
so dumb. No,
Little Nightmares
we're not
2.
done with this. No, go put it above balloons.
Realistically, Bloons is below Dead Cells right now. Let's be honest.
No.
Go ahead and tell us about Little
No,
Nightmares
we're
2. Go ahead and tell us
Okay,
about it.
Little Nightmares 2. I love.
I'll put it. I'll fix it.
No, Nico, I'm going to take the screenshot.
No.
I'm at the computer.
No,
No.
this is bad. Anyways,
I'll have the screenshot
Okay.
the video. I'm the editor.
honestly, I just really love it for its lore, and it's just really like it's genuinely like I love the horror in it because it's not like jump scary horror, but it's like disturbing, and so I just think it's a really good game, and I like it. I can't say words. It draws me in, and I really love it for that reason. Do I think it's definitely not in the top tier, but it's just it's a really good game, and then I love it.
So where does it go?
I'd
say solid.
No,
No.
I think for me above World War II, below Three Houses. That's where I would say.
That's fair.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think that's just kind of.
All right,
I can't really put it above Three Houses.
Now here's the
or
thing:
anywhere
Mario
higher.
Kart 8 is a game we can all agree is a really good game. Where does it go comparatively, though? That's the problem. Because I feel like we're all on the same side of Mario Kart 8 being an insanely good game, the best Mario Kart game, my opinion, the best racing game of all time. But where? I think it should go on the top because I feel like all racing games should strive to be what Mario Kart 8 is. But like, is that like where?
I'm gonna be honest.
I think
If we did this before the DLC dropped, I was putting it in really good games. But it did DLC in like so perfectly, like what DLC I think should be rather than what it's becoming, that I'm hoping games take that route, and I'm hoping games strive to be the DLC that doubles in size, like Elden Ring's DLC recently.
Quite literally just the game, but again.
Yeah, like
Pretty much.
It's just a new Mario Kart game.
it's a straight up new Mario Kart game. It's like it's different, but like it's still Mario Kart, and that's what Elden Ring did. It has a new DLC that is basically a full new complete game, but it's still Elden Ring, and I love that direction. I want more games to do that. So in my opinion, it's in the top tier. Where in the top tier?
Above Hollow Knight.
I think probably the bottom.
Below.
Probably below Cuphead.
Okay.
Because I don't think it's
I mean,
as
Cuphead's DLC also did do a full
Yeah,
new game.
Cuphead
I just
also
didn't really
did
like
do-
the bosses 'cause I
Yeah,
thought they were mid.
yeah,
They were
it's
easy.
not for me.
No, I don't agree.
Mario Maker 2. This is my favorite 2D Mario.
I just think it's a solid game.
I really like
me
it.
personally, solid game.
I love the fact that in this game you can basically create your own game with this whole super worlds. You can create your own levels. You can be completely unique. They give you a lot of options, but comparatively in like uniqueness, looking at everything else on this list, it's just a solid game.
For
As
what it-
much as I love it, it's just a solid game.
Well, at the same time, if you look at what it does, it's a Mario game, allowing you to make your own Mario game, which is such a, like, I feel like that game should have been genre defined. I feel like other games should be replicating this game.
But was
I'm not putting it in the top because I know it doesn't deserve it. But I know that there should have, I know Kirby should have done it, I know Sonic should have done it, I know every 2D platformer should have done it because of how perfect of a concept making your own levels
it's a beautiful
officially
concept.
is, and letting you share them and all that kind of stuff like that in any other 2D platformer would be the most peak experience of all time. Like, imagine Hollow Knight Maker. That would be cancer.
Path of Pain 27.
I
Cuphead Maker, Celeste Maker,
Cuphead Maker doesn't.
Sonic Maker.
Oh, okay.
Fuck Shantae Maker.
Fortnite Maker. That's just creative.
Huh?
Creative.
Wait, what is?
Fortnite creative mode.
Shut up.
Hey, I do have.
I do agree with that.
So.
I still think solid.
I feel
like it's a game that needs to be replicated, and for that reason, I feel like it should be a bottom of really good.
I still think solid games.
I still think solid.
That's crazy, dude.
I love it. It's my favorite series on your YouTube channel. It's just
YouTube. I mean,
bro
if we want to be so honest,
taking it over for me.
YouTube is what made Minecraft as good as it is. I think YouTube has to be put in somewhere. The internet's collective reaction should be put in somewhere for a game.
Well, is it your most popular series on your YouTube channel?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the longest one.
It is the longest one.
Popular?
Oh yeah, I was supposed to.
I feel like Bro versus Bro is gonna end up being because first episode got 200 views.
Yeah, no,
crazy.
First episode's gonna.
And Ruben said it's like a really good video.
No, it's really I love it.
The Adam versus Abram video.
Oh yeah, that was fucking awesome.
That was a good video.
So like, but I think again, every 2D platformer should be not Ruben. Adam, are you playing your PlayStation mid video?
Hey, no, I gave him permission. He's just looking up the price of Hades.
Okay.
Oh, whoa, it's
50% off right now. $12.49.
Holy, wait, when does the deal end? I know PS is doing this like deal things right now.
Is it a bundle?
Available until 7/04, so that's like what, 3 days? Oh no, that's like, oh wow, it's only June 27th. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Okay.
You have a wait.
If I have money by the end of this trip, I'll get it.
Sounds
is it
good.
both or is it just one?
It's just the first one. You don't.
Then get on
Only Hades 2 is only on Steam right now.
I rather get it on here.
Yeah,
okay.
Just wait till. Well, it's not fully released yet. It's not a complete game in
Hades
Steam.
2? So
Yeah.
It's not?
No, it's only like halfway done.
Odyssey.
Oh, dang.
And it has my favorite boss fight ever, by the way.
Dang.
let me just talk about this game for a little bit because we played this game today, and I think this game is my second favorite video game of all time. I think it is an absolutely perfect 3D platformer. I think that its movement is the best I've ever played in a game ever. I think that it is insanely fun to speedrun. I think that it is insanely fun to play. I think that it is one of the reasons why the Switch is where it is. I think Mario Odyssey should be replicated 1000%. I feel like other series should be doing what Mario Odyssey has been doing. I feel like as many games that tried to copy 64 in the new era of time, I feel like more games should be trying to copy Odyssey because of how copy the movement, the freedom, while still being linear. I feel like the combination of the two is perfect, and I feel like encouraging you to mess around by going and looking for moons and getting rewarded for it, that is amazing, while also having a linear structure of just, you need to go here, here, here. So if you want to play the story and get it done, you can. If you want to mess around, you get rewarded for doing that. I feel like that is a game, I feel like I'd put it above Cuphead.
Mario Odyssey is the first 3D platformer Mario's gotten in, since Galaxy 2?
Yeah.
Since 3D World.
I don't count 3D World.
Nintendo does. It's a 3D Mario game.
Yeah, no, it's different. 3D World's built different. 3D World's built better. I like Odyssey. I think it's a great single-player experience. I think it's a dogshit 100% experience. 100% sucks. 99% is because of Toadette. Yeah, it's not a good 100% experience. Getting all 990 moons is just it's a slow.
It goes from messing around and getting rewarded for it, and starting to be like, oh, Easter egg hunt that you don't want to go to.
Yeah. So I think it is flawed in that nature.
But for the average person who's not trying to 100% it.
For the average person, it is a great experience.
And for the speedrunning community, oh god.
That I'm inclined, my personal placement of it right now, with my current mindset on what I think of Mario Odyssey and what I've seen to think of its influence and what other games have been doing in comparatively to that game. I have it next to God of War. That's probably my placement of it.
I think
That's crazy.
no, I kind of agree with Nico. I would put it a bit lower, but it just
That's wild.
like I'm comparing it to those games up there, and like it just I don't know
I
from
put it
from
above
what-
Mario Kart at least.
No.
it's just from what I've seen, like because those are like what revolutionary, and
Mario
yes,
Odyssey was too.
Eh.
but it wasn't like it didn't influence a whole lot, and that's kind of a reason why we're putting those games in the revolutionary because they started.
Well, I mean,
started
I'd
changing
say a
the
game
chain.
like that one Crab game, I feel like is
Or-
somewhat influenced by Odyssey.
The crap game's influenced by the Souls games.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm talking about like if you look at its art style, you look at its movement, all
It-
that kind of stuff. I wouldn't say that's
Its art style is just unique in their eyes. They said they had no direction off that. They just
You
wanted.
can have
They just
unconscious.
wanted
inspiration.
something cute.
You can have unconscious.
It's
I do
Mario
like-
Odyssey doesn't really have a unique art style. It's just very
It's
just
Mario.
It's just Mario.
And
I think Mario Odyssey should be replicated as a game.
but
other
that's
3D
the problem. But
platformers.
that's the
I-
problem. You bring up like
You say should,
should,
and that is the
but
issue.
It hasn't happened, and like
That's
let's
because
just
3D platformers, like, I've seen a Sonic-esque 3D platformer. When came out? Did Hat in Time came out first, right?
I believe so. Let me check.
Because you want to talk about a game inspired by Odyssey. Hat in Time. Very similar and big game. Very good game. I have not played, but it looks very good. And even from a platform, but 3D platformers don't come out as much now. I mean,
Yeah,
you
that's
got
fair.
Sonic doing that kind of.
Okay, so Hat in Time did come out in 2019. So that is one inspiration.
And that game did really, really well.
It did do well.
And also, not only that,
Not as well as a lot of other indies.
platformers are like just not as common anymore because of how they used to dominate. They're just kind of drowned out by a lot of samey games. But I feel like if there were to be more 3D platformers that aren't just a Sonic ripoff for going for the speed, I'd say that Mario Odyssey's movement is something that should be replicated.
I can agree with the sentiment, but my placement position has not changed.
Okay, I'll put it above God of War then.
But I also the movement thingy. I agree. Mario Odyssey's movement's really good, but like
I don't know. I don't think it would make sense for a lot of other games.
I think it would.
I don't think it would.
No.
I think just the freedom of movement without feeling restricted at all. I feel like there's
I think
no
there's another-
restriction between
there's
player
another-
and character in that.
There's not just one, but I feel like a lot of games on here that also kind of.
I feel like there's no difference between what I'm wanting to happen and what is happening in the game is what happens in Mario Odyssey.
I feel like if you don't, that should be the common goal for any
But that's
video
not
game.
been the case in any other video game I've ever played. Mario Odyssey gets it perfectly in terms of movement.
I don't know.
In
because
that
there's
top
another
row, I'm looking at like Hollow Knight, Celeste, Mario Kart all do that. I feel like already.
Yeah.
Mario Kart is a racing. What are you talking about?
Well, you're talking about movement. That's
Mario
like
Kart,
I don't see any other.
We don't even
movement.
have to talk about this game. It's going here. We already know why.
Right, yeah.
We're
Fortnite.
not talking about it.
No, we know why Minecraft's
love
there. We
Minecraft.
know why Minecraft's there. Everyone knows why Minecraft's
Give us a
there.
30-second spiel.
Okay, Minecraft. not only did it influence just the
chicken.
chicken.
It influenced her character.
Not only that, but it's just like there's so much to do in the game. There's so much to build. There's servers, so online play is really good. There's not really a story, but it's Minecraft.
I mean, MapHat would disagree with you.
MapHat would disagree with me, but that's separate. That's like something. It's just something that's there, and you can go dive into it. So much exploration now with all the updates. I feel like there's just endless things to do now, and it's just never ending. I feel like, and that's what you want in the game. And once again, it's inspired a lot. I mean, you saw the trend on it on YouTube, and then it came back, and there's obviously mods.
It's a never-dying game.
It's a never-dying game.
Not just genre, game. That's insane.
And so, when anybody thinks of games, I think Minecraft is it is the game. It is the game.
And also, it spawned the character that no one wants to fight in Smash Bros.
True.
Alright, so Fortnite. Ruben, do you want to defend this game?
Defend it.
Yeah,
Well,
defend Fortnite.
The
What do you
current-
mean defend Fortnite?
The current season is really garbage. The older seasons were better, but it's just a game that I've always enjoyed playing as a squad. Playing with the boys.
Awesome. Alright, Adam.
Okay, I am put
You also put
This
this,
is
one.
personal.
Nico and I are
I
not
am-
going to defend this game,
I am
so...
I didn't put the game in my.
It wasn't
top.
in your top 10?
It's
Really?
not. It's not in my top 10, but I think it's still a really. It's probably. I put it like in between Little Nightmares and World War II.
Solid.
And even if you
Not put it above Mario Maker. I'm sorry.
that's okay. I just feel like to me. Okay, Fortnite.
Above
Okay,
Warzone
Fortnite is way more than just the BR now. If you really think about it, too, it is not just.
It's like a weird
It is-
Roblox now.
It is, but there's so much. It's kind of like it's endless things to do, and it's not only expanding on like the gameplay side, but the creator side, and like it's becoming like an own game maker in a way with the Creative 2.0. Like, there's the things they've shown off, and you can entirely make new games, like in Roblox, which I think is also... Roblox idea of, like, just people making their own games and making money off of that, that's
Isn't
insane.
that literally what Mario is, but Mario Maker? Isn't that just that
People
but
do
Mario?
not make money off of Mario Maker 2 and
Well,
making
who
their
cares?
own
If the
levels.
concept of making your own game is what's the appeal, then Mario Maker does that, but with Mario, a pre-established character that people already wanted to do that with anyway.
Yes, but in Fortnite, you can literally make... There's people putting Five Nights at Freddy's in Fortnite. And putting freaking... Just anything you want. What? And so...
That was official.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
true.
there's so many iconic things you can just put into Fortnite now because of Creative 2.0. Not to mention, the new year they started off, they added freaking Lego, which is your own survival game. Which, to be fair, it's not as advanced as, like, Minecraft. But it's there for people to just explore the option. You have Fortnite Racing, they collabs with all sorts of artists. And then, of course, the biggest one... He's just gonna tear in this.
Nico looks like he's dying. He's like, hold your
Okay.
tongue, wait for the time.
Okay, but the biggest thing that obviously attracts people is Fortnite VR, the Battle Royale. And I think the gameplay is just like, it's really solid and really good. And it's the high skill ceiling that it presents is just amazing. And I love the mechanics with building because no other game has ever tried to do anything like it before, or any battle royale. It's just its own unique experience, and I think it will always be its own unique experience with the building, and solely because of the building. And that's the main reason I love Fortnite so much, is because it's building, and I've never seen it implemented in any other shooter ever.
I'm gonna throw up a clip of someone just getting mauled down by a fucking, like, mythic weapon or a car when you say high skill ceiling, and just getting one shot by a dumbass weapon.
Okay, cars are dumb right now. I'm not gonna lie. That just like throws out everything in the competitively. I'm not arguing against that. But in previous, like, yes, there's all those mythics and, like, the medallions, for example, but those medallions are a risk factor, as in they reveal your location, and they're gonna reward aggressive players, and I know NIKO over here likes being more aggressive and doesn't like camping, and so that eliminates camping, because you're gonna, if you have the medallion, you're gonna want to play more aggressive. So I think that's a nice way of, like, implementing that and versus camping. And so the gameplay loop is really good, gunplay's fun, and they're always, especially, they did it better in the olden days, and I got off of Fortnite because they stopped, like, doing their content updates, but they've gotten back onto updates and adding new things into the season and just making it, you know, unique and fun to play, especially on, like, just the non-competitive side. Like, cars are horrible competitively, but they're just fun to mess around with, and I'm not gonna, like, I think you can just ask about anybody, they're just fun to mess around
They're
with.
really fun to kill people in, but they're not fun to get killed by.
Yes, I do not, like, I still think, I'm not gonna argue and be like, cars should be, they're the new meta, yes, adapt, just adapt. I'm not gonna be one of those people, but I do think it's, like, they're trying to change, and I think if Fortnite just didn't, they just stopped changing, they die like a bunch of other VRs. And so, that's why I think it's in really good game above, in between Little Nightmares 2 and Call of Duty World.
Alright, NIKO, what about you?
I've come to terms with what I'm about to say. As much as I personally dislike this game and have personally been burnt out in, we are arguing objectivity. And there is no other game with more crossovers, more viewership, more influence than Fortnite is in the past few years. And I think for that reason, it has to be in the top tier. As much as I dislike it, it is a game that is crossover with Dragon Ball. It is a game that is crossovering with, like, live, like, music artists. It is having concerts in game. It is crossovering with Rick and Morty, Star Wars, fucking everything. Everything wants a crossover with Fortnite for a good reason. It is a big game. It is doing a lot. They even made a separate game inside of the game with Lego. It's honestly insane. Fortnite is honestly baffling that this free-to-play battle royale game that they didn't even plan to be the main game became so much more than they could ever expect. And the fact that it is constantly changing and still surviving, even though dying multiple times throughout the years, it's impressive. It's had almost as much influence as Minecraft. It's up there with,
So
like,
where?
it's up there with Minecraft GTA 5. As much as I
Dang.
dislike it.
I'm not putting it above GTA.
I mean, I put it lower, way lower than
I'm
NIKO,
putting it
but
above
I mean, like,
LG.
after hearing that,
I'm
look,
not putting it, I'm not
agree
putting it
with
above
that.
GTA because I feel like GTA
I can agree with that.
has
It's
never
just
died.
as much as I would put it in why is this in your top 10 if it was my list, if it was my personal picks list. It's not. It's an objectivity. And in objectivity, Fortnite's done a shit ton, and I hate it.
Alright. One shot.
Beautiful, cutesy indie game that's I wish had more influence. It's a really good game, but probably at the bottom because it's had, like, no influence.
Is
and
this a top 10 or is this a honorable mention?
This is at the bottom. It is number 10 on my list. It's a really cute puzzle game with a really unique art style and soundtrack. It has beautiful characters and just loving story and just optional events. There are multiple endings. There is a secret ending that you can get after you beat the game, which, by the way, after you beat the game is unique in which it's like, hey, you solved this game. Why are you trying to re-access it? You just saved the world. If you come back, you end the world. So, like, they're imploring you to not replay it. And it's just really unique.
Does it change after you do? Like Undertale?
You'll have to play to find out.
No, it's really unique. I wish this game got more publicity.
Do you think it's like a Undertale-esque game? Like it could be... Wait, speaking of Undertale, where is Undertale?
No one
It was in.
I put it was in my top 10.
I did not. It was
It was
not.
my number 9.
Oh, well, I put.
Hold on, I'll add it real quick.
Yeah, remove legends. I don't know. Actually, I don't think you can, Caleb.
Hey, we'll just talk about it after
we'll talk about it.
We'll put it in editing. Just put it where it would be.
We'll do it last because it'll be easiest to do it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I definitely missed it. Definitely put Legends Arceus in over it. My fault, gamers. Yeah, no. One Shot, beautiful game. I wish it did more. I wish it was more popular, but it's just at the end of the day, it's not. I think it's around the level of Little Nightmares 2. That's where I would put it.
Okay.
Below or above?
Either or, I think it's debatable.
Yeah.
Alright, I don't have much to say about this game because it was an honorable mention, and I would have rather put Undertale on the list if... I don't know why this game got in over it.
I fucked up. That's end of story.
Arceus, the reason why it's an honorable mention...
Wait, I
is
thought it was going to
because-
be Undertale.
I mean, we could just rank it as Undertale and you can
Yeah, you could
overlay
just-
it.
Yeah, let's do that. So,
Okay, cool.
Undertale. Guys, Undertale, it's such a good game. It's in my top 10. It's number 9. It's right above Cuphead in my favorite, actually. Because I don't want to say I like what it's done, because we know what it's done, but I really like, of course, you got the music, you got the world, you got the boss fights. You got the story. It's a peak game. I think it is an inspiration of a game and went so much farther than I think it ever meant to, and ended up being insanely popular and insanely... It might be genre defining, but also not at the same... I don't really know what to say about Undertale other than people know why it's good, people played it, it was a game that a lot of people can know is a really good game, and a funny skeleton, so...
If we want to talk about influence, I can bring something up. Toby Fox himself has talked about it. Chrono Trigger is one of the biggest inspirations for Undertale, by the way. I just want to mention
besides Earthbound.
Besides Earthbound. Chrono Trigger and Earthbound, those were the two games he first mentioned when he talked about inspiration. I just wanted to mention that. Play Chrono Trigger, please.
So,
but
yeah, Undertale, great game.
what I think about Undertale too, it's kind of the same thing as like Cuphead. It did something like again that nobody like. It took the basic like. It did something its own unique in its genre, like with the whole, like you don't have to kill them or you can.
but would we, if we did put it in the top, would we be putting it there for the same reason as Chrono Trigger, or would we be saying
I think, although it is inspired by Chrono Trigger, I think it's gone and done its own separate thing.
Yeah.
I think, honestly, its biggest influence it's ever had is, people, like the first ever, story thing that I'm, referring to, people just wanted more Undertale, but more Undertale wasn't possible because they already played through all the endings of Undertale and saw all the different dialogue.
So
they made more Undertale. And I think Undertale really popularized that idea. The idea of
a series.
The idea
that's
of
also
making
a double-edged sword because I feel like that's resulted in some of the most
Yes.
cursed things on the internet.
It definitely has its positives and negatives. People have made continuations of a story, people have made alternate universes of the story, and it's had its pluses and minuses, but I think overall it's a bringing community together idea that I do think in theory is good. Undertale just went too far, but I think it has calmed down since and is now in a much better place than it was in the past, and it's influencing other games to do the same, because I've seen Hollow Knight custom stories and Hollow Knight alternate universes, Celeste alternate stories and alternate universes, even Legend of Zelda has alternate stories and alternate universes.
But
It's
again,
just-
I've seen more of the cursed side. I know how bad that can get, but I know that in theory it's a good thing.
It's in theory a good thing. I think it's a similar case with Elden Ring and Breath of the Wild. I would have Undertale right in front of Chrono Trigger.
Okay. I will definitely have to change the screenshot for this one.
Yeah.
So people don't think I'm putting this game above this game.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
Poke Park 2. Listen, I'm not going to fight that hard. I know what this game is. I know what it's trying to be. I think it's amazing. I'm going to put it right below Warzone. But I think this game, for what it did exactly what it tried to be. I think anyone who's a Pokemon fan should play it because I feel like it is a very good game. I would put it, if I did have Arceus on this list, it would be going above it because I feel like this game, it's an open world Pokemon game where you play as the Pokemon, you make friends with the Pokemon, then you can use those Pokemon somewhat in battle. It has a fun yet simple combat system. It has it's a baby game, but it's also not at the same time once you get more into it because it's like, what do I need to do to help this person? What do I need to do to help this person? And then the more you get into it, the more it's like, okay, I have to remember to use these items. I have to remember to do this and this and this. And then when you get to the post game, you try to go into the battle tournament, and you can challenge yourself to do fun things in that, which is what I'm doing. 100%ing it is super fun. And so, while I think it's easy to make the distinction of this is baby game, why would you ever rank it high? I also think it did exactly what it's trying to do, and I think that for that reason, everyone should play it. And if the jury would let me rank it higher, I most definitely would. I would put it. I would put it above World War II if I could.
If we put it anywhere, I feel like if we put it in really good game, I just feel like that's.
Yeah, no, that's disrespectful
That's
to the other games.
disrespectful to even Mario Maker and Warzone.
Yeah.
Me personally,
I
just think, why is this in your top 10? But
I'm personally thinking an alright game, but
I just feel like,
I don't know.
as much as it, yes.
Fire Emblem Radiant
Hey,
Dawn.
whoa!
We haven't stopped
Put
talking
it in
yet.
the yellow.
I think you have to put it.
It's not an A game.
I think
Caleb,
it's
this is
alright in an objective.
Okay, I would
In-
like to say, if we're going to use a topic that NIKO brought up earlier, which was in new direct showcases of people being like Silksong win, a lot of people said Poke Park 3 win. Just saying, people want more of this game.
People want this game, but it's a small group. It's not.
It's a vocal minority. It's the amount that people should be recognizing. I think Poke Park is a good game. It represents Pokemon well. I feel like it should get just as much respect as Mystery Dungeon.
Except it doesn't, and
But it
I
should.
think it's only alright because of that.
Yeah.
I feel so sad.
It's just
Every
not
Pokemon
like-
fan needs to play Pokemon.
I agree. I do enjoy Poke Park. I think it's a very
That hurts
cute.
my soul.
I think it's a
Hurts my
very
soul.
cute game.
That's not even what you did in your own personal list. You put
Oh, yeah.
solid in your personal
I
list.
started to disagree with my personal list the more I thought about it, but
That's so sad. You need to Adam, you need to play it. It's a peak game.
I just feel like I'm gonna think it's an egg game.
It's a great game.
Like when I played literally any other.
when I was a 6-year-old kid, loved that game. It was peak. But now,
Dude, I loved it as a 6-year-old and I love it now. What do you mean?
played it.
I don't think your brain.
I replayed it like a month ago. It's alright.
I replayed it like a week ago. It's peak.
I haven't played it at all, but Caleb streamed it to me, and I was like,
game looks peak.
I would rather just play normal Pokemon.
Alright, Radiant Dawn.
I think it is the peak of Fire Emblem. Like, the Radiant Dawn Path of Radiance series, Ike is the main character. It's the first time you're not royalty in the series, I believe. The direction with being a mercenary group, just trying to do the right thing. It's like inner stories with like racism actually, and just yeah.
Ruben, you might like this game.
It's very anti-racism, so I'm not
Oh,
sure.
never mind.
It is the best Fire Emblem game in my opinion. I wish Radiant Dawn sold better. Path of Radiance did really well. It was one of the best selling That series in itself, it's amazing. It's a complete story. It's something a lot of games want to have a sequel, and like having just a game after a game, and it's like completing your story, and it's like well loved, and like the main character from your game won the popularity poll for your entire series, and that series has 20 plus games.
Wait, Ike is the most popular.
Yep. He won it by a landslide.
He won against Marth?
Yep.
That's crazy. Even people who don't know Fire Emblem are like,
he
that's Marth.
beat Violet, he beat Marth, he beat everyone. Beat Edelgard, he beat all the females, all the males. You know, Ike's the GOAT. And yeah, I think it's minimum above Three Houses because it's just the best Fire Emblem.
Yeah. I mean, like, you're the Fire Emblem, so I can't really argue.
You think here?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Alright, Rainbow Six Siege. Who put that one
Bad.
on? Why is Rainbow Six Siege on this list?
It also includes lots of racism.
What else?
I like it because of the diversity of characters, and I like first-person shooter games, as you can tell.
Is that it?
I like how realistic it is. Now, aside from like the stuff that they can do, it's semi-realistic. But if you get shot once, you're dead, pretty much. So I like that about it. Like, you only get one chance to mess up, and then you're dead. So
where would you?
It teaches you to be very precise with all of your movements. I put it in solid game. It can go below Warzone.
That makes sense.
And then I just remember.
All right, Adam. Resident Evil 4. Give us your piece. Come here.
I love Leon Kennedy. He is hot. Gameplay. No, but he's like.
Glad to know
honestly,
that's a talking point.
Well, no, okay, but low-key, he's like.
He is up there in the most popular video game characters of all time.
He's just so, like, especially in this fourth game. I haven't played the remake. I know the remake's up there. I played the original version. The original version has so much to do. It's, like, it is genre defining in the survival horror. Like, not really in the story aspect. Like, I think Last of Us took its, like, Last of Us definitely was, like, you can see its elements in RE with the gameplay, but it ran off with the story, in my opinion. Although I do love the lore of RE, Resident Evil. It's great. But, like, where you guys were saying that, like, Last of Us isn't a video game, Resident Evil 4 is, like, definitely a video game. Resident Evil in general. And Resident Evil 4, I think it, objectively, if we're talking about, like, the balance of, like, gameplay and cinematics, it takes what Last of Us did and kind of does that even better if we're taking it from an objective point of view. Do I like it more than Last of Us? No, but objectively, it has really good gameplay, kind of defined, like, survival horror, and did it well, and started implementing, like, more actions into it. The character of Leon Kennedy is great. I love him. He's, like, kind of, like, he says a bunch of quips, too, like, that are cheesy, but he's Leon Kennedy, so who cares? But it really did run off with, like a bunch of survival horrors are based off of RE4, and it takes all its kind of, like, its action beats that you see in many, like, survival horrors, and it takes a lot of those are taken from Resident Evil 4, and it was a very it was a lot of games were influenced based off of it, and so it was just at the time, and people loved it too. GameCube, it was also a GameCube exclusive, so for a bit, and then they got ported to everything, and there's a reason why the original got ported to literally, like, everything. You can find it, the original Resident Evil 4 on just about anything, because everyone loves the game to death, and I think it's a really good game. Me personally, above Balloons.
What about you, Nico?
I don't think it goes into the top tier. It is, like, bordering there. Like, I think it could be pushed there.
I don't have a strong opinion. I've never played it. I know Leon Kennedy. I know rough idea of Resident Evil. It's a very popular series. Leon Kennedy, like, if you look up a top 10 most popular video game characters of all time list, I've seen him in 90% of those lists. He is very famous, very popular. Very influential game. It's inspired a lot.
I forgot to include Return to Dreamland on my freaking list.
No one cares about
Womp
I'm
womp.
so sad.
Womp
That
womp.
game is so good.
Yeah, I think Really Good Games is a good spot for it.
Above balloons.
Sounds
Above
good to me.
balloons. Above balloons. Above balloons. If you put it above
Alright.
balloons.
Shantae and the Pirates.
No, it is not. No, Caleb, put it back. Caleb.
I put it where it belongs. No, balloons is peak.
I'm gonna put it in its...
It is like no. I think
No, Nico, no, you can't do that.
No, that's genuinely where it
No,
goes. That's
it
what
needs
he
to go
said.
right there.
He said all of these go above.
No, we never said that. It needs
I
to
literally
go.
said Dead Cells should go above it.
We
Okay,
actually
alright,
said that
alright.
it should have
It
gone in the
definitely
top
goes there.
tier.
it exactly like that.
No, this is correct. Leave it.
Leave it. Leave it.
You're outvoted.
Leave it.
I'm the guy with the remote.
You're outvoted.
You're outvoted. We all agree. Look, balloons is very.
All right,
good.
viewers, we can all agree that Balloons goes at the top of games that should be strived to be as good as these
Caleb,
games.
I feel like a lot of the viewers are gonna disagree with the balloons. And honestly, I'm gonna put it in solid green.
the
So I'm
viewers,
gonna be
the viewers are
solid
gonna say that
I
Balloons
think
is
we'll
peak.
look fraudulent as gamers if we put it even close to the top.
green.
I'm not gonna lie.
Like for me,
I think people started raging as soon as it was above God of War, but like I think it should be at the top of the list.
I think objectively, like RE4, you have to beat that in order to get into the top.
I think you have to
That's
beat
what I
Balloons.
think.
Honestly, I think you have to
RE
beat Balloons because that's peak right there.
Oh, Lord. Okay,
So-
well, objectively, I think RE4 is just like bordering right there.
yeah,
and
I
so-
can agree with that.
Like it's like right there because it's done a lot, but I don't think it's like it's just the like literally Mario Kart. Like it's having a hard time getting to that level. I feel like, but it's like right there.
What are you doing
know?
with Kirby? All right, Shantae and the Pirates
If you
Curse.
make another objectively bad opinion, we slap you with Kirby.
So see, this
He's
is
gonna
not
use it
fair.
as a, what's it, like a
Um,
chain and ball?
A mace? Dun 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 dun. I think Shantae and the Pirates Curse, I know that it is a very, very, very niche game. I feel like it is big enough to be something that is noticeable, as it is technically in Smash Bros. It has gotten to the point to where Nintendo's been like, okay, yeah, it's one of those games where I feel like people have enough influence, seeing as it is one of the only Mii costumes to get a soundtrack song put in the game. It is a insane Metroidvania that I feel like I've heard many people say that Shantae, character-wise, is the queen of indie games, which a lot of people don't think that's true. I think it's debatable because if you want to talk about for how long indie games have been a thing, Shantae's been doing really well since 2001. But we're not talking about Shantae as a character. We're talking about Pirates Curse, which is the most popular game in the Shantae series. It has the best items, the best movement, very good story. It is non-linear, while also being very fun to speedrun. 2 modes, the pirate mode and the normal mode. It is, I think, it's perfectly balanced in terms of difficulty. I think if you want to go fast, you can. It gives you options to do what you want while also being good exploration-wise. Its puzzles are well thought out while also not being too hard to where most people are going to get too caught up on them. I think that its bosses are well balanced while also being fun to just fight. They're not like bullshit or they're too confusing. They're what a good boss fight should be. I feel like the game controls extremely well. I feel like its art direction is really good. I think that its pixel art is beautiful. I think that if you enjoy Metroidvanias, you have to play this game. And if you like 2D platformers, you're going to like this game. I think it is... I'm not going to put it in the top. I think that if we wanted to say, oh, all of this genre should try to be like it. Like, I think in terms of Metroidvania, Hollow Knight is the kind of game that people are going to want to replicate. But if you want to replicate a game, I think that Shantae should be in really good games. Because I think that it's earned that at this point. Besides just, oh, we need to hit you with the horny bat. I think that, like, this game, I think the game in of itself, and Adam's played Pirates Curse before. You know that this is a good game.
It is a
Which-
good game. I haven't played it.
I think you should
a
play
lot.
it to completion. If you want to play that game rather than Jump Force, I'd be so down with that. Because I feel like you need to replay and experience this game. Because it's a really good game. So, in my personal opinion, I'm putting it. I put it above Little Nightmares.
That is exactly what I was thinking. That's insane.
Seriously?
Yeah, no, that's my.
I mean, I can't really.
One Shot Little Nightmares and this game, all in itself, remind me of each other. They're peak, like, indie-ish games that do really well of what they want to do, but they're just not as popular as the ones above it.
them.
So
But I
it
feel like
doesn't
if-
have as much influence.
However, I do think in the case of... Because Little Nightmares was kind of popular for a little bit.
Sure.
And One Shot just doesn't know... I feel
I
like...
really hope.
Here's the thing. This is the fun part about gaming when you really think about it. Popularity plays a big role. I feel like if every person in the gaming space were to get their hands on and be like... If they were to try it, Shantae and One Shot, I feel like we would have ended up putting them higher up on this list simply
100%.
because of that. Because I feel like they have the potential to be that kind of game, just not that many people know about them.
Exactly.
Okay, this
Which is
is-
why I have them all grouped together like that.
This is the thing that I think Sean. Okay, I think the thing that drives people away from Shantae low key more than pulls in is the shtick with the I'm gonna hit you with the horny bat, because
Yeah.
I think people see that.
Yeah.
think that
I mean,
scares
it's the same. It's the same thing with anime, because like I asked what people
Right, but I feel like at that point, like, you can't... Like, that's the same argument as anime.
Like, I can't agree
Yeah.
it is a good game, but like if my friend looked over and saw me playing this, they would be like, "Why the?"
Well,
why
here's the
fuck
thing.
are
This is the game
playing
you can't
this?"
tell because it's all pixelated, so...
No,
Until you get to the cutscenes.
and then you get to the cutscene, and Shantae's like wearing nothing, or is
Well,
it the bathtub?
no,
And
you're
so
not
that's
exactly.
That's also why I try to stay away from like the games. Although like I know they are good, but I just like
I do fault it for that. I feel like they could do. I feel like it's weird because it's what draws a lot of people in, but it's also what pushes a lot of people away.
I think it pushes more than
I
It
think
definitely pushes more.
I think the game.
But I
Yeah,
mean,
but-
it's like the creators.
But it's weird because I know plenty of other games that have characters like that in it that people don't care about. Like, people like those games a lot.
But well, it's not just one. It's not just like, oh, Shantae's the only one. It's literally like every girl.
But
Like every
I feel like
girl.
every person who likes a Metroidvania should just grow up, honestly, and play it. Like, if that's what you're if that's what you're worried about, that's kind of an immature reason to not like it.
That's fair.
Yeah,
Like,
you know-
I will play it. I will play it. But I know if someone like one
to avoid a game from an objective. Like, if you're an adult and you're like, I don't want to play this game because Booba is in it, then you're immature. You know?
I think a game that we're about to talk to is suffering from the same problem, if you want to look there.
But I also would like to say the same thing about what, like I was telling you earlier about Evo.
Oh yeah, I see the game.
It's Skullgirls. I think people who have played Skullgirls know that it is a very good 2D fighter, and that it's been on Evo before. It's been in Evo before, and it was a very weird upbringing. Like, it was started from a guy who originally worked with the creator of Yandere Simulator, and then he just branched off from him because the backstory was the guy who made Yandere Simulator said, "You can't code. You're bad at code. Get out of my studio." Ended up never being able to finish a game that's mid anyway, and then the other guy went on to make an extremely polished, really good, like 2D fighter that a lot of, like, Evo, the fighting game community has acknowledged it. This game's been out for a long time, and people are still playing. It's been out since 2012,
Have we just
and people
moved
are
on
still
to
playing it.
Skullgirl?
Yeah.
Skullgirl. Okay.
And so, like, it's been out since 2012, and people are still playing it. So I think that in terms of 2D fighters, it's done exactly what it's wanted. It's drawn in that audience despite being the horny bat game. I think that Skullgirls should go right under One Shot.
I can agree with that. It does give me a similar vibe as well to Shantae Little Nightmares One Shot. Of it's a game that I think in the scope of things it could become more popular, but it's not the top of its series because clearly that is Street Fighter.
Right,
Combat.
yeah. And I feel like that's just something that every single 2D fighter is going to have
every
to accept,
2D fighter
you know?
is going to suck.
Like, they're never going to get past Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat because they've just been the staple for so long.
Yeah.
But I think, if I'm being real, go to some of the most popular, like, Street Fighter games and then go against Skullgirls. Like, I feel more comfortable playing Skullgirls because of its movement and how snappy it is. But, like, I know that Street Fighter will always be preferred because of how extensive of a lineup it has. You know, in terms of its games, in terms of how many people are actively in that scene. And, like...
That's one thing I'm going to disagree with you with.
I watched like, people play things like Guilty Gear, too.
Guilty Gear's sick.
Like, that game, I feel like that game and Skullgirls are pretty similar in terms of its fighting style.
They're similar. Guilty Gear is a lot more polished animation-wise.
The animation's really good in Skullgirls.
It is, but Guilty Gear just has an insane amount of polish. Guilty Gear flows well. Guilty Gear's really good. It does have... They do have similar issues where people just die too fast.
You do die really quick in that game.
You said low one shot.
I'm trying to put it... There we go. Okay. So, Ruben.
You're gonna have to defend this.
You're gonna have to defend this one.
Because-
Smash 4. Why is this one on your top 10?
Because all the characters were broken and it was a really shitty game to play.
And that's why you like it?
No, it's because I beat everybody.
See, this is what I said. Nico's like, I don't know why he would like this game. I was like...
It's a game because...
Nico said, oh, it's because he never had time with the other ones. And I was like, because he beat everyone, and that's why he likes it.
Yeah, Smash 4. If we think about every Smash game. Smash 64, created Smash. Melee, the most competitive, most popular Smash even today. Brawl, the most casual, friendly, story mode-based Smash Bros. It is very popular because of Subspace Emissary.
And also it introduced...
broken characters.
It also introduced third-party characters.
Third-party characters.
True.
Yes.
It introduced third-party characters.
That was a huge thing.
Smash 4 is known for introducing DLC. Smash Ultimate is the Smash Bros. Of today. It is the Smash Bros. It is Smash Bros.
It is.
So Smash 4...
It is not only Smash Bros, it is gaming legends, in my opinion.
Yeah.
A lot of gaming legends.
It's gaming All-Star Brawl.
Yeah.
It is like...
Legendary game.
Yeah, legendary. It's just...
As much as I rage and I say I hate Smash Bros., I love Smash Ultimate. I can't deny that fact. Smash 4, on the other hand... Holy ass, Batman. Like, what were they cooking? It is an improvement from Brawl competitively. But
I don't know.
they nerfed Bayonetta, by the way. Bayonetta was even more broken at launch. And just Bayonetta itself, like, you can play the clip from EVO. I know Lima. Lima is my colleague. I go to college with them. We play Smash Bros. Ultimate together a lot. Even they can talk about how shit Smash 4 was. With just the rage, with how broken every character was.
And even then, like, people shit on Brawl so much, but I'd say Brawl's still better, even without nostalgia.
I agree.
Like,
Brawl,
objectively. Even with Meta Knight still being more broken than Bayonetta, I'd say.
Brawl competitively, no. Brawl Subspace, yes.
I think just as a game, it's better.
Like, yeah, overall as a game.
Because I can go back and play...
In normal, just like playing one-on-one.
Honestly, Smash 4 for 3DS is pretty peak. Though.
Low-key! 3DS better than Wii U, but that's a different take.
Okay, but no, I can go back and play Brawl.
Yeah, I can
too. Play
Even
Subspace.
for
I can't play normal Brawl.
I can.
I bet I could.
Dude, old Picto Chat went crazy.
I can't. Not with the tripping, not with the knockback. I like...
Well,
Smash
I mean,
floatiness is a lot better
I haven't played Melee or 64, but in my eyes, like, Ultimate just feels so fluid and
Ultimate
nice to
is
play.
probably the most natural.
Yeah.
But like,
but going back and playing like
Smash 4, it feels like you're on
like
the
we
moon.
played Smash 4 last year.
I prefer Smash 4's floatiness to Brawl. I will say that.
I don't.
But
it feels like I hit you once and you're going.
Yeah, no, knockback is insane for Smash 4. Everything is. It's too floaty. Rage is not balanced in the slightest. Dash attack Xana's dash attack into Uppy should not be killing at 0. I'm sorry. Why is that a thing?
I think it should go, and why is this in your top 10?
I agree.
Personally.
Smash Ultimate.
Objectively.
Yeah.
Where's Smash Ultimate going?
I think at launch...
I say above Elden Ring.
I think it's getting to the point to where it's genre. Like, people are trying to replicate.
People have been trying to
People
replicate
have
it.
been trying to replicate it. That's not new. It's like, where in the top 5 is it?
I say above Elden Ring.
My bias
Maybe
says-
even Fortnite now.
Honestly, true.
Low key, I think it might be.
Because,
Beginning with.
It's just I think it's
insane.
it's just, yeah, I agree.
Like people are like,
But
oh yeah,
no.
Fortnite has a lot of crossovers, but Smash Bros is
I
the
think-
crossover.
It is the crossover.
I think like, and it just, I don't know, especially like recently, I've just been seeing like everybody's trying to hop on that platformer, like
Platform fighter, yeah.
platform fighter.
Everyone
grind.
wants that back.
And I know it's been happening for a while, but like just I feel like more recently.
After Ultimate came out, everyone wanted it.
And yeah, just more recently for some reason. I
So
don't know
yeah, I'm
why.
putting it.
I'm putting it above Fortnite.
Ultimate not only spawned 2 NASB games, but it spawned multiverses. That alone is insane.
Yeah.
All right, Generations. Listen, even in the Sonic fandom, they used to love it so much, and now they're like, wait, they're using old levels, even though that's the freaking point of the game. I don't know why Sonic fans are never happy. But Sonic Generations, I played it as a kid. I thought it was really good. The platforming is very good. It's like the game that made me friends with Adam, actually.
Me and my brother helped him beat a boss he couldn't beat, actually.
And we started playing the game like together.
I
and
would do
then-
classic levels. Him and Sammy would do. You don't know Sammy. My brother would do the modern Sonic. I don't know why that was established.
I just really like modern. That is the best modern Sonic boost formula I've ever played. That exists ever.
Sonic Heroes is better.
Sonic Heroes is not
Sonic Heroes-
boost gameplay.
Sonic Frontiers is better.
Sonic Frontiers.
I think.
It's debatable.
But Generations, I love it. Sega clearly loves it because they've tried to replicate it with Forces and failed. They also clearly love it because they're re-releasing it. It's a great game. I think
I need the shadow portion to be
it's
good.
objectively,
I need the shadow portion to be good, Doug. If
I
it's
think-
dog shit, I will kill myself.
I think that like it has.
I just want him to have.
I do not think it is games that should be strived as because there's plenty of complaints that people have with it. But I would put it above Little Nightmares. 2 for 2, baby.
I can live with that.
Okay.
It is.
Wait, I would say.
It is.
It's a really good game. It's in that tier.
It is.
I think it's above Skullgirls for me.
I can live with that.
Yeah, I think it's probably a little lower above Skullgirls.
Yeah.
It's a good Sonic platformer. It does what it need to. It is getting re-released.
Which, for an anniversary game to get re-released,
Yeah, that is.
like,
kinda
what's the
crazy.
likelihood of that?
That's
Like, I thought that was the last game getting re-released, dude.
That's true.
All right, Adam.
All right.
Spelunky, go off.
Spelunky 2. I love this game. Oh my gosh, guys. It just okay. First of all, cheap, indie game, roguelike. We've all liked those categories. That's just great start. You can just keep on playing it. There's a base ending, right? That took me like 50 hours to get, right? And then there's actually 2 other endings. There's it's kind of also like I wouldn't put it in the same. It's not up there for me personally. Like I wouldn't put it in the top tier because it hasn't really defined it. Really like revolutionized like gaming with it what it's done. But I still think it's a really solid game. And me personally, I think it goes above Mario Odyssey.
Ooh, that is a... I don't know, I would not say that.
I do not think it has more influence than Odyssey or God of War.
Seriously? I wouldn't... Okay, I'm putting it above that because I objectively think it's just...
I put it below Bloons.
Below Bloons?
I...
Okay, wait, let's find the middle
I mean,
ground.
that Bloons is genre defining.
That...
Spelunky is not.
I put it above. Okay, it's above Balloons.
I would say Spelunky is genre defining for a dungeon crawler-esque game. If we want to talk about influence for this game, it hasn't really influenced games, but it has influenced content creators. Like Alpharad's
so
favorite.
has Balloons.
No, like what I'm saying is not the direction of playing the game more, because obviously every game on this list will have a content creator of some kind. But like of big content creators that are already pre-existing and how it's influenced their like direction of video game, like uploads with video games and not video games. Spelunky 2 is Alfred's favorite game. It was the inspiration.
It is?
Yes, it is Alfred's favorite game. It influenced Alfred Deluxe. Like, I don't know, he explained it in one of his videos that like the idea of Spelunky influenced that entire side channel. And it's just, so it's had influence more than Bloons. I'd say yes.
In the gaming industry or just YouTube? Because like in the gaming
general,
industry, I'd say Bloons has done quite a bit.
In general, when I talk about games, Bloons I have to introduce to a lot of people. Spelunky, they auto just know it. Spelunky is just known. It is a popular indie game. It is older. It is very old. It is.
It came out on like Newgrounds.
I tell a lot of people
it got really popular.
If I say, do you know Bloons? They may not know the name, but if I say, do you know the game where you're a monkey throwing a dart at a balloon? A lot of people have played that. Like I know a lot of people who just know Bloons.
True, a lot of people did play the first one on their like school game.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I have Spelunky.
I don't know. I'm not thinking influence. I just think it's objectively better.
Well, I feel like that's apples to oranges, though. I feel like you can't compare those two.
That's why.
Like you're
I
on the point
do
where you
agree
have
with
to compare
Nico's
based
point.
off of influence.
Like I do also agree with the influence. So I mean that does knock it down, but
is the correct position.
That's so depressing, but okay.
It's close,
but the reason why I said Odyssey because like
Above God of War is crazy.
You've been talking, yeah. Maybe that's a little bit of my bias going in. Definitely, actually.
It definitely is.
I definitely need to play God of War actually. But okay, but like you keep on saying like with the movement and everything, and like I think Spelunky has the best.
It's literally just run and jump.
Movement. There's movement like.
There are a lot of movement items.
Like Caleb, there's like frame per
part
like
of your moveset.
They become part of your
like
moveset.
your specific movement is so like just the base movement is so precise that you can make like jumps frame perfect. Like that you're like there's it's like a I don't know how to explain it. There's basically jumps in the game that you have to that are so precise that are frame perfect, and you can get them down to pretty much consistently. And I just think that kind of movement is really good. And I always feel like whenever where I'm going, like what I'm inputting is what I'm inputting. And most of the time, like when I mess up, it's my mistake with movement and not the game's mistake, you know? And that's also like, I don't know, it's another good thing about Spelunky. Like most of the time your mistakes are your mistakes. Or you might just get Spelunky, and that's the fun part about it. So I really like Spelunky. And I think it's I think it has the best movement out of anything up there. Maybe I think
anything up there is insane, but okay.
I
think Celeste.
Celeste.
No,
Hollow Knight.
I think it's better than Celeste, low-key.
I have Celeste, Hollow Knight.
Celeste, Hollow Knight, Odyssey.
I don't think it beats Odyssey.
Shantae.
No.
I think
it beats
in fluid motion and good feeling. I have Celeste, Hollow Knight, Odyssey,
Shantae.
Breath of the Wild at its peak, Dead Cells at its peak.
Well, I'm just thinking platformers solely.
Yeah. But like for basic movement, I do like Spelunky. I do like the micro precise inputs that you can do for it. But like there's just more options than the other ones, and I think that puts them ahead.
Yeah.
It is just
that's fair.
Without them having to be items that you have a limited number of. you know.
That's fair,
Kinda.
but I
because
just
there's like the cape, there's the wings, there's the teleporter.
As-
And those aren't limited. Those you will just have them.
yeah, and that's it's like again in the base form. It's just so simple and I mean like it's nice. And once again the micro.
All right, Splatoon 3. Splatoon 3, but really just Splatoon in general. First thing I want to start off is that this game did win multiplayer game of the year in 2023. I think 2023. No, 2022.
It was one of them.
One of the two. So that's one thing. Second thing is we're going to talk about in terms of Splatoon. I'd say Splatoon 3 has, I don't know if I'd say the most balanced Splatoon game, but really Splatoon has never been the most balanced shooter game. I'd say Splatoon 3 is probably the most out of the three because Splatoon 2 was a dumpster fire and Splatoon 1 was not balanced at all. And then you have, but like Splatoon 3, I'd say that the combat's good, the stages are very good, I'd say, especially comparatively to the other two. The story mode is, the base game story mode is similar to that of Octo Expansion from Splatoon 2, which is peak. And then the DLC for Splatoon 3 is insane. It's a roguelike that you have really cool lore, really cool bosses. You get a sense of progression that is really natural in that DLC. A bunch of new movement options in terms of the squid roll and surge that just make combat a lot more fluid and it makes it a lot more fun. The competitive scene, it feels like ass, but also very easy to get into when you first start out because of where you start out. When you play with friends, it's a really, really fun game. Hide and seek is always as fun as it's always been. You have more options with private battle. You have table turf, which is a whole new, different kind of game you can get into. So with that being said, it is my favorite game of all time, alongside Smash. Now, when you're looking at it objectively, and when you're looking at it comparatively to other games in its genre, which its genre is third-person shooter, and I'd say if we've praised games like Cuphead and Breath of the Wild and Mario Kart for their creativity in terms of standing out amongst their genres and telling the message of kind of like being more creative with your concept, I'd say Splatoon did a really good job at that. And in terms of, like, it won the multiplayer game of the year for a reason, especially when nothing, like every game being released nowadays is just multiplayer games. To win an award like that is crazy. So I'd say, like, above Splunky.
I think on an objectivity tier list, you're underselling your favorite game.
Really? Because don't think it. I'm trying to think of what you guys would say. I'm trying to like balance my own bias versus what you guys would say, and I'm not. I don't think there's a world where you guys allow me to put Splatoon above Last of Us.
Right now, I am debating on. I have it above Last of Us currently. I'm debating is it better than Resident Evil 4?
Yeah.
Do I think it's had more influence than Leon has? Is what I'm really bringing it down to.
I would say yes, because it quickly became one of Nintendo's most successful properties.
It did become a Nintendo mainstay IP, which is really impressive for a new series. It did win multiplayer game of the year. I would say it
isn't even 10 years old yet.
Yeah, no. I would say it's below Mario Kart.
Maybe even I think it's above for me.
Low key, maybe I can see above.
I would
say it's around Mario Kart.
And it's kind of like also like I really do agree with Caleb with the its uniqueness. Like there's no other shooter like it.
That is true.
So above Mario Kart?
And I think
I will definitely take that.
Again,
I'll take
also
that.
Its influence in like although it's not super influential in America, I think it's like incredibly influential in Japan.
Oh my god,
like, people
they love Splatoon over there.
And so
I say they love it more than other Nintendo properties.
So yeah, objectively I think it goes.
Objectively, it's up there.
It
In reality,
is.
it's kind of dog shit.
No, it's actually amazing.
I still think it's a really good game.
I
would if we were putting
it's my favorite game for a reason. I love it. I look at all my amiibo. I have like all the Splatoon amiibos. My characters based off Splatoon. I love Splatoon. Like, there's no arguing that. I just know that the general opinions about Splatoon 3 are kind of lesser than they probably should be.
I really like it.
I do too.
It's my favorite of the three.
Tears of the Kingdom. It's going in top, but where? Even though reviewers have kind of bombed it.
Can we just put it by Breath of the Wild, low-key?
I
mean, like,
I think it's better, but I don't think it did as much.
It didn't
It definitely do as much, but I think.
Ooh.
In terms of its influence, I'd say it's under Mario Kart.
Honestly,
it didn't do anything.
You're not wrong.
But I just feel like
it is.
It really,
I feel also
it's a better game than Breath of the Wild, no doubt about that. But it's just didn't do anything.
I feel like also once again,
like it's still also won an award. It's amazing game.
This is one of the few. I don't know how many other games are $70, but like this is the one game I think is very justifiable with its $70 price tag, and it's kind of the same thing with Elden Ring. They really poured their love into it and took their budget, and
it is the same
ran
map,
with
though,
it.
To be fair, even though they do have,
except it has two entirely new areas.
Yeah,
as
the
well.
whole bottom,
and
like
also
the whole bottom area.
The usual map is also very different in a lot of ways.
And like it could have been. They could have very easily just taken Zelda, like Breath of the Wild, and very much just made it Breath of the Wild Part 2. And I think games should strive to do what Breath of the Wild did with sequels. They shouldn't just make a copy off in like 2 years. They should delay the game if they have to and make it even better than the first one, which is why I think it should go above Zelda, Breath of the Wild.
It doesn't have the same influence.
Again,
I agree,
issue of
but
the
like
word there is should. I think.
Should they try to do the same thing but expand upon it? That's what I'm saying.
Where I'm putting
should
it,
other games do
where
that?
my brain is currently landing, is right above Chrono Trigger.
I think that's fair.
That's where my brain.
I don't think it's going past Undertale.
I think it slightly falls short of Undertale.
Wow.
Just in overall, like, I think it's a better game. I love Tears of the Kingdom. I just think it slightly falls short of people's.
Like, I think it is a better game than Undertale.
No,
even though it's not
I
my top
agree,
10.
but even
I think it's probably the second best game on this list. Like, in
opinion-wise, yeah.
Yeah, I have, like, obviously my number one's Hollow Knight, but I think Tears of the Kingdom, other than Smash Ultimate, like, Smash Ultimate's my baby. I don't count him in my list, really.
He
yeah,
transcends everything. Honestly, well, I think in my list, Smash Ultimate dropped, actually.
Yeah.
That's because you've dropped, Adam. That's why.
I mean,
you've fallen off, man.
I don't think I've fallen off. I
I
still really love the game. Like, there's no doubt about it. And like, even playing with you guys, it makes me want to just get back into it. So
that's one of the reasons why we love it so much.
But I mean, like, that's like my opinion is just like my top 10. My top 10's like I've changed it every time you guys have asked me like, what's your top 10
I do
game?
too, to be real.
We all change ours.
My opinion, like, who knows? Maybe in like 2 more months. So like, I'm literally thinking about trying out on the esports A-State team. So I mean,
I feel like
that'll probably boost it back up.
Because playing esports for me and playing with you guys made me love Smash, especially the weeklies I go to now, dude.
Like I definitely still love Smash, and it is definitely probably like one of the better games. I don't even know what I would say was the video game I am best at, but it is probably like top 3 or something like that. So
all right, that was in your door.
That's all you.
If we want to talk about influence, this game originally released in 2004, and it's had so much influence. I don't know if you guys heard about it. It basically led to the creation of a popular game called Bug Fables. It's a popular indie game that's been selling really well recently.
What's it with bug games, dude?
I don't know.
Bug Snacks.
But
where's Bug Snacks?
There's also quite a few more games that's like directly caused the creation of it did so well that it led to on its own led to multiple more Paper Mario games. It doing so well.
It's in an ad right now.
It did so well that it led to the bring back of Mario and Luigi Brothership. It's selling really well on the Switch right now. It's number 2 highest sales of a Switch launch.
So many people want it. Okay.
People really
number 2 behind Animal Crossing.
No, not overall. It's just in this month. In sales.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, no. It's just doing really well. It has a lot of influence. It's one of the best RPGs in general I've ever played. It's amazing game. I love the Paper Mario series. I think it is minimum above Odyssey.
At a minimum.
That's-
I think there's a chance it can go
I
into
think that's fair.
the red tier. I hear so many people wanted it for the Switch, but I find it hard putting it above, especially I can see it going above Last of Us, but not it kind of.
I feel like it's
doesn't
big, but
beat-
also niche at the same time.
Yeah, it doesn't
That
beat
is true.
it doesn't beat RE4 for me. So honestly,
I can settle with
I think above Odyssey makes sense.
above Odyssey, above Last of Us, either of those two, that's fine.
Wii Sports. Now, what does influence mean for this game? Because, I feel like Wii Sports.
People,
A
okay,
lot.
I think it launched with the Wii, right? It
Wii
was
Sports
It's
may or
the
may not
highest
be.
selling Wii game.
It
Wii
literally-
Sports may or may not be top 5 gaming, in my opinion, but it doesn't deserve it gameplay wise.
It doesn't.
But for me, it's just a solid game. But what it did to Xbox and PS4, do you see those guys? They started making their own.
Oh
movement
yeah, they
thing.
started.
They wanted to.
VR did that too.
Yeah, no,
Exactly.
They wanted to
So for
Wii Sports.
they were this thing terrified the
Yeah.
other companies, and for that sole reason,
shook
top
it for
5, I
competition.
think.
I think
I think has to be
Right above
Oh,
Fortnite.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I might have to put it below it.
I think
don't
Elden
know.
Ring.
I think.
I was
so.
about to say
Above
yeah.
Elden Ring?
No, below
Below
it.
Elden Ring.
I don't think it. I don't think it be.
You
I think
Elden Ring had more influence than Wii Sports, dude?
Yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah, I think it.
I think.
I don't.
Okay, it definitely did, but I think it's the game.
I feel like Wii Sports
I
is a
can't
universal
put it
experience.
above. I cannot put it above.
see a reality where Wii Sports is.
Wii
above.
Sports is a universal experience almost, I feel like.
Wii Sports is a dying breed, while Elden Ring is in its youth.
Wii Sports is...
Wii
I kinda
Sports
agree.
have already been being.
Wii Sports
Yeah,
is almost 20 years old. and
I
it's
think.
still-
I think.
Kids today are playing Switch Sports.
Really? Because I feel like a lot of kids today
No.
have their Gen Z parents or their Gen Z
They're watching
siblings
Cocomelon.
playing Wii Sports.
No. A lot of Wii's are discontinued. It's actually hard to find a Wii anymore because a lot of them have stopped working just because of hardware issues.
But some people are still able to pass that dream down.
Okay,
Some people are, but a lot of people just have the Switch and just introduce their family to Switch Sports since it has a lot more ease to access.
Okay, my thing is, there's gonna be games like Elden Rings in 20. There's gonna be more Elden Rings in 10
These
years.
will never stop. Every console that comes out is going to have one of these.
I just
Guaranteed.
But that is
They'll
as,
have one of
as
those, but it
popular-
won't have Wii Sports.
Right,
is
but
the issue.
But the reason why they'll have one of those is because of Wii Sports.
But are they gonna
Everyone's
be-
going to want to do what Wii Sports did because it did it perfectly.
If we want to talk about concurrent viewers at peaks, Elden Ring has eclipsed Wii Sports even in their most popular
Well, yeah,
YouTube
because-
videos.
Because
So-
Elden Ring was in the YouTube gaming scape, and Wii Sports was before that.
Wii Sports
But
had
even then,
dominated YouTube in the past, and Elden Ring has far eclipsed that, even though it's much younger. And the fact that it's younger and already eclipsing it in popularity, and still has a future because DLC just released for it, just a few days ago.
I think it does better in modern society, but you can't always say that. You can't always use that as its object. I don't think you can always say in modern society.
Well, that's why it's that's why it's they're still both up there, but it's Elden Ring, Wii Sports, they're up there. They're
You
both
gotta
up
think of
there.
what
They're
they've
both
done.
obviously up there. They've both done a lot.
You gotta think of what they've done overall for the amount of time they've been.
Elden Ring, Game of the Year. Has highest concurrent viewers for a game ever. Highest viewership for a video game ever. Like, most played hours in, like, a super long time for a Souls game.
Also,
revived the Souls series.
I know they're gonna keep on making like Wii Sports, but how many people are playing Switch Sports?
But Elden Ring,
well,
Switch Sports is just bad.
Well, I know, but like that's the thing. The influence it has to continue making it, right? That influence it had to continue making Wii Sports, it kept on going, but it just slowly died. I think with Elden Ring, it's gonna keep on growing.
But
like
you said, Adam, the thing that Wii Sports did was they dropped Wii Sports, and it was like a nuke on the gaming industry. Everyone was like, "We need to pay attention to this because this is what propelled
that is what Elden Ring is doing right now."
Yes.
Yeah, but not every other company's like, "Oh shit, we have to do that now."
Yes, that is true, but that high it rode a high, and then
because they know that they can't.
They're not going to be able to do that because it's so good. So they're putting all their money into, like, Nintendo is trying to make a new console, and it's just Elden Ring's on the other platforms. Nintendo's having to work their ass off to make sure their sales are getting in because Elden Ring is getting that much attention. So it is a nuke on the gaming industry. It's just a lot of platforms have Elden Ring. So it's not causing as much mass panic because it's only really bad for one company.
Yeah. So
I think
it's not. So Wii Sports
is
not going to be in the top 5 then.
Also,
it's debatable, but I think it's slightly getting eclipsed by Elden Ring, barely slightly.
So therefore, it's not in the top 5.
It's not.
That is insane.
I don't think that's insane.
I think
honestly,
I
think a lot of people would also. They would probably put Wii Sports lower, low key.
I don't think you can.
No, I definitely think.
I think a lot of people will just think Wii Sports put it lower because it is just Wii Sports.
But you gotta think what it did.
What it did is a lot, but Elden Ring is doing a lot while having more.
Okay, I know this game isn't gonna get high. Even amongst Xenoblade fans, it is the least favorite out of the trilogy. But it is my favorite.
Even X is outranked.
Out of the two I played,
I don't know about that one.
Out of the two,
it is. I'm so sorry.
Out of the two I played,
you haven't even played past the first area. Shut up.
Hey, yes I have.
No, you haven't.
I've made it.
Have you gotten Pyre yet?
Yes.
What have you done in Xenoblade 2 yet?
I just read Nia. That's.
So you haven't done shit then. Thank you.
Yes, but like at the same time.
That's like early game. You haven't even gotten past like the.
Hey, you're not on the tutorial till chapter 4, by the way.
Yeah,
so.
just stop. You haven't even gotten to the good part yet.
Which is shit, by the way. It should not be like that, but.
But Xenoblade 2 is entirely my own bias as to why I love this game so much.
It
was the first Xenoblade.
You two can argue this.
It was the first Xenoblade game I have ever played. It was the way I got into Xenoblade. Me and NIKO played it, and it was a very fun experience. I love every single character in this game. I love the combat better than 1. I like the world better than 1, even though 1 is probably more influential. But I just like everything about 2 better than 1. I like the lore. I like the characters, I like the fighting, I like the progression of stats, I like the elemental system, even though a lot of people don't understand it because it wasn't really explained, but I think it was a good mechanic, and I have the Numa sword on my wall. I think it's very sick and cool, and for this reason, if it was entirely up to me, I would put this game right above Spelunky. However, I know that's not happening.
It did not have that influence.
So realistically, it's going above Skullgirls.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
Actually, no, it's not. It's going below Skullgirls.
I was like thinking that.
Skullgirls had a lot of influence.
Yeah. Skullgirls at least was at EVO. Xenoblade 2...
Got shit on by its own community.
Yeah, a lot of people... It's literally, if you look up worst character designs, Pyra and Rex pop up. Yeah, no, character design wise, it didn't mean anything, so they didn't do great there. Character wise, I do agree they did great, but it's like, it's slow for them to actually become their characters rather than...
But they did so good at becoming characters.
Yeah.
Like, I know all of those characters. I remember them. I remember their story, their arc, everything about them.
Yes.
But,
however, it didn't do right above World War II.
Seriously?
Dang it.
I thought it was going to be lower, low-key.
No, influence-wise... Like, it's still a Xenoblade game. It still sold well. It still has its own fan base. Like, you can clearly tell by Caleb. There are clearly passionate people behind this game. It is objectively worse than the other ones.
Yeah, I have to say that because I know that 1 was very influential, and I know that 3, I haven't gotten to sink into it much because I want to, like, have context of the other ones. And I don't think that there's any world that I'm going to like the characters there more than I do 2, because I genuinely think, out of the trilogy, the Xenoblade 2's characters are the best. If anything, its characters are the best, but 3 is looking like it's going to be a better game, objectively. I just haven't played it. But no, 2, I love its characters so much. Honestly, if I could get 2 as an anime rather than a game, it would definitely be in my top 5 favorite anime because it's such a good, like, characters and story. I like it.
Yeah. If it didn't take 4 chapters to do a tutorial and then not do the tutorial well, I think it would have been a great game. But that slow start killed it for so many people.
I mean, like, hey, look at me. I love Xeno. I love the first Xenoblade. You guys literally saw me grind out that game.
Well, yeah, but I feel like you got burnt out at just the wrong time. Because as soon as you started, you were like, wow, I just finished the first game, and now I just started the second one. Like, I don't think that high lasted.
I probably need to get back into it.
You do. You need to
but
go ahead and do it.
I still think, like, even from that first bit and what I've seen so far, I still think I'm gonna like Xenoblade 1 more.
Oh well, I don't doubt that.
It has more goats.
I think you're probably right. I think once you get into late game with Xenoblade 2, you're gonna know you're gonna like realize what I'm talking about, because I think that the characters in 2 are better, but like
late game of 2 is peak.
Also, I want to strangle Rex.
Late game of 2.
I think everybody can agree with that.
Yeah, but then I saw 3 and I was like, that's Rex.
We'll see. I'll get to that point. All right.
But
Xenoblade 1.
Xenoblade 1. Hell of a lot of influence.
I genuinely thought this was Alfred's favorite game. I didn't know Spelunky was.
Last time I heard he said Spelunky 2 was his favorite game, and he wished he could record more content on it, but he just doesn't really have the drive really to record.
But this game, but
for
Xenoblade
constantly
1.
doing roguelike stuff. But
Xenoblade 1 though.
Xenoblade 1, peak game, very influential RPG. Like there's so many Xeno stuff. If you think about it, Xenosaga, that's the right word. Xenosaga, there's Xeno fucking Blade X, there's Xenoblade 2 and 3 are existing because of how well Xenoblade 1 did. And it's just like, the idea of foreshadowing in a gaming experience wasn't really developed upon until Xenoblade 1.
And Xenoblade 1 was a Wii game.
Yeah, Xenoblade 1 was a Wii game. I played on the 3DS when I first played it. And yeah, no, that was a great experience, even though it kind of looked like shit. But, no, great experience. The Definitive Edition, really well done. Beautiful game. I love it to death.
It made Adam a fan.
It did make me a fan.
The Futures Connected DLC was also really great.
I haven't played that.
I didn't even know that existed.
Oh, no, it's the Shadow... The whole thing with the Shadow... Like, the Shadow theme itself might be, like, a top 3 favorite theme of all time. Just the overall, like... the foreshadowing in that game, 4, 2, and 3, was so insane.
Even though there's separate dimensions.
There's separate dimensions, there's... the lore is insane in general for all the Xenoblade games.
So good, dude. Xenoblade is just such a good series.
it's complete open world. It's influenced several RPGs and games. There's no real RPG that has an auto battler like it. Like, auto battlers don't exist. It's just Xenoblade. And Xenoblade done it so well, I don't think anyone can copy it, really. It's done amazing for its characters. It's done amazing for its antagonists. Metalface and, what the fuck? What the fuck is his name? Xenoblade 2. Xenoblade 2.
Malos?
Malos. Metalface and Malos themselves as antagonists have...
Jin.
Not Jin. Jin wasn't that popular. But Malos and Metalface, they have...
Malos just straight up has them in auto.
That's
Well,
not
similar.
what, that's not
It
what
has
I'm
the
talking
thing.
about. They straight up have insane committed fandoms. Those... Like, outside of Xenoblade, I think Metalface and Malos might have, like, the two most dedicated fans I've ever seen in a community ever. I've never
Really?
seen...
More than Sans?
No, not like that. But, like, for love of an antagonist that wasn't even, like, the main antagonist, I've never seen such committed roles of people having, of just gassing a character up. Like, the love for Metalface and Malos I've seen just the Xenoblade fandom fight for is insane. But, you know.
I put it, because of what it's done, because of what it is, and because of what it's spawned, above Chrono Trigger.
I'm not sure I fully agree. Actually, I'm not sure. I think it's close. I do think it's in that top tier. I can live with the above Chrono Trigger. I'm not sure if it's as influential as Chrono Trigger. I think Chrono Trigger's definitely done more. But
I think it's above Cuphead.
I do think it's above Cuphead. I do think it's done more than Cuphead. But I think Chrono Trigger's done more, but I think Xenoblade is similar to, like, what we said.
I feel like Chrono Trigger has, like, in modern day, even though a lot of people know what it is, it's fallen to more obscurity than Xenoblade.
That is true. So I can live with it being above Chrono Trigger.
I mean, there's kind of a reason that Xenoblade is kind of getting
like a lot of people are starting to start getting into Xenoblade.
Yeah.
Like, people are still buying 3.
It's definitely got a lot of help from Smash. I won't lie.
Yeah, but 3 also did come out, and people wanted 3, dude.
People wanted 3.
Yeah. So, but this is the tier list of our favorite games ranked. Tell us what you think. If you agree, disagree, and yeah, that will be it for this video. Hope you guys like the new channel. We're going to be doing as much as we can on it. And yeah, you guys want to say anything before we go?
I'm Smash 4's biggest hater, and I'm Hollow Knight's biggest fan.
I'm tired. It's like 2:24.
Let's see what time it is actually.
It's
2:24.
Oh, bet. All right, we're gonna go to bed now.
Yeah, baby.
See you guys later.
Love you guys.